All right, hello everybody. Welcome to another video. This might be a little bit of a weird one. Oh, we got the using emotes unlock. Man, so many of my characters. You know, I haven't finished this on any of my characters. If you guys don't know, when the Steam update came out, they did the adventure guide, right, which is supposed to teach you about the game, but I think it's a really bad system in terms of like actually helping players learn things and understand like what's available, because it's just more pop-up spam in the bottom right ultimately that they have no context for, and they're getting loads of anyway from all the other basic achievements that they get. But yeah, it's character bound, so you have to beat 14 of these, and you don't. There's always a little bit of variation. For example, I haven't spoken to any scouts on this character, but you speak to 14 of the. You do 14 of these, and then Volume 2 unlocks, and then Volume 3. And because it's character bound, I think even my most played characters, I don't think I'm up to Volume 5 on anyone. But it's kind of like, as far as I know with the Steam release, they increased XP yields, and then these also give you XP. So I don't know if like the reason why you can level faster is through this, if people pay attention to it. But I mean, what are the odds that they know to do that? Hopefully they've got mates that tell them. But yeah, anyway, hello everyone. Sorry, we're slightly off topic there. A bit of a weird episode. This is a pilot, as far as I'm concerned. This might be the only time I do this, because we're just going to have to see how this goes. Hello to people in live chat. This is more of a live experience than anything else, so I'm kind of like really banking on chat. Hopefully we've got fun things to talk about. Basically, with End of Dragons, they released a new feature, fishing. And so when you look at your End of Dragons achievements, there is a fishing section. There's a shit ton of things to do in it. All over the world, catch loads and loads of fish, filled with different variety. Every map, or every region I should say, has like loads of different special varieties of fish, all with unique names. There's special like junk fish and baits and rods and all kinds of things to look at. It's a big part of the expansion, but it's also ultimately an entirely optional part of the expansion. I think maybe there's 5 minutes that they ask you to do it inside tongue on your first playthrough, maybe. So it's just it basically has become another feature in a long line of features that's probably really quite good, and it's probably really entertaining to look at, but most players miss. And even I myself, I would count myself among those that have missed things. So if we go to achievements here and you add the achievement point filter, I can now no longer see any achievements in the game that I've already collected. So if you look here, End of Dragons is available. There's no POF available. There's no Heart of Thorns available. A bunch of the core stuff is done. Apparently I'm missing some Living World Season 1 rework things. Basically, I'm someone who's done like nearly everything in the game. There's a couple of little things that I'm missing, you know. Out of all the collections in the game, I just got a couple of things left to do. When we look at story journal updates, there's a couple of tiny little things I missed in the Season 1 rework. That's these sections here. But, you know, Heart of Thorns is done, except this new achievement they added. Icebrood Saga is all fully done, except Champions and Jormag Rising. And then with End of Dragons, I've got a good chunk of stuff finished. And then there's fishing. Fishing is just full of achievements for me. So I want to hit this feature. I want to finally see what it's like. So my thinking, right, is what I'll do is I'll try to get a region done, and we'll sit and we'll chat and we'll talk about any. I mean, really, there's nothing going to be going on except me fishing here, so we'll see if there's things to talk about. This might end up awful and boring, but I will at least do our first region. So we're going to do Kryta. We're going to get all these Krytan fish today, basically, and then if it goes well, what I'll do is I will treat this project as just like when I wake up and I don't have anything else ready for you guys on the day, we can just throw up a quick fishing stream, you know. This is basically like filler. This is like padding content, if you will. And ultimately what I think it's going to end up feeling like is really long Q&As. One of the reasons why I think this might be quite fun to do at the moment is because I basically on a whim did a Q&A yesterday, and it kind of got a big response. Maybe only because of some of the topics that were in the Q&A, but it was alright actually, you know. In lieu of doing like a scripted review, I did a Q&A, and I don't know, people often say they like the Q&A stuff. So yeah, that's kind of my thought. Really what I want to do today is Tomb Raider, but I want to do a bit of map completion in that game first, refamiliarize myself with the controls and be familiar with it again. So So, and it's already about the hour in the day where I'd want to throw up a video. So we'll do this instead, and then after this I'll go play Tomb Raider privately, and that'll probably be the episode tomorrow. So yeah, that's the idea. If this is fun, we'll just blot in a random fishing episode. But each episode will make real progress, okay? We're going to do a map each time. So this time we're going to do Kryta. So as far as I know, Kryta is not a particularly high-level map to fish in. So we'll see what we got. I'm slowly working on my heavy armor here as well for my my warrior. It's a shame it's nighttime right now, because during the day, when I unsheath the Juggernaut, this just looks so ridiculously shiny. I love it. The combo is just so good. But the problem I have right now with this this appearance is I don't really have any great super shiny... Like, what I need is Quicksilver skins for an axe and a dagger, and I don't really know what fits, you know? Like, if anyone has any ideas, feel free to chime in. But as far as I can tell, there's nothing like the Juggernaut for other weapons. There's nothing. I mean, kind of close is... And I mean, there's a... Look at all these skins, right? And none of them really seem to fit. I think the Icy Dragon Slayer daggers kind of okay, because the ice that comes off of it is very white. And I actually noticed with these skins, I don't know if you guys have seen these, but if you wait long enough, there's like weird... You see how sometimes there's like harder ice that comes off of them, like more congealed ice? You see that little dot there under my cursor? That one? It's kind of interesting. I'd never really noticed that about these skins. So, but again, this is like smoky. I don't really want to look smoky or blurry, you know? Like, that's always a thing with Guild Wars. What I really like about this look is it's shiny. It's not glowy. Most of the time when people talk about shininess in this game, they're talking about glowiness. This isn't glowy, it's shiny. And in the day, it looks amazing. When it's day, I'll come back. But yeah, anyway, so just slowly working on that. I still need the headpiece. What else is there really to update you on my account? I don't know. We've got the decision of who we should fish on. Now, I do most of my fishing on lists, just because I don't really enjoy playing Ellie too much at the moment. I mean, I've kind of started to enjoy Catalyst again. And I do feel some, you know, kindred spirit to her as the original big character I was playing. I do tend to make sure she has the unlocks first, and she has this, and she has that. So usually what I do is I fish on this map, because there's big money to be had fishing on this map. But this is the Crystal Desert, and I guess we'll be back here later. Actually, to tell you guys the truth, I have already... if we go back to the fishing section here. So, the progression here... I kind of got an ironic, stupid title here. But basically, what we're doing is we need to get all the fish in Kryta, for example. And what that will do is that will unlock the next tier of Kryta, which is like Krytan Enthusiast or something, I think. But basically, each time we finish, we get a checkbox on one of these. So, so Krytan Fisher here. Once we finish that, we'll be at 4 out of 5 on kind of a big reel. And once we get 5 out of 5, we get 5 AP, we get the first title, and it's kind of a big reel. And Guild Wars 1 players might recognize this. Back in the original game, okay, there was... how would I put this into Guild Wars 2 terms? There were titles, you know, so there were like reputation tracks you could grind, and there were title tracks that you could grind. So there might have been a title to become really close friends with the Lightbringer faction. So you'd keep collecting bounties from the Lightbringers, killing enemies for them, and it would keep progressing it. And as you progressed it, you'd get new ranks within the Lightbringers. You'd start off as a Lightbringer, and then you become like an adept Lightbringer, and then you become a fierce Lightbringer, and it'd go on and on and on until like you'd hit the final rank. Or with the or with the Sun Spears, it was the same. You'd rank up through the Sun Spears and ultimately become a Spear Marshal yourself, like Cormier. I think Spear Marshal was the final thing. I think, anyway. So those were titles, just like achievements really in this game, slightly reconfigured. I actually think the system's slightly better in Guild Wars 1, frankly, because you could keep tiering the same title up. In Guild Wars 2, if you get a title, there's only ever one edition, you know. There's only one chicken chaser. There's not like a quick chicken chaser, and then a rapid chicken chaser, and then a godly chicken chaser. You know, there's only chicken chaser. Anyway, in Guild Wars 1, you could rank the titles themselves up. So there was a title... There was a title you could only get when you had 5 other maxed titles. So if you became a Spear Marshal and the max level Lightbringer, whatever that was called, and you were maxed with the Kurziks, and you were maxed with the Luxons, and you fully explored the world, so you were a max cartographer, There you go. You've got 5 titles, and with that, you got a new title, and the title was kind of a big deal. Now, when that first released, having kind of a big deal was kind of a big deal. I don't know. I felt that anyway as a teenager playing the game. I loved getting that title. I was like, cool. It was like a meta title, if you will. And then it kept expanding. If you got 10 titles, there was another one. And if you got a 15, there was another. And if you got 20, there was another. All the way up to 25, I think. And all the titles were kind of whimsical. They were quotes from the show Anchorman. Not the show, the movie Anchorman with Will Ferrell, if you guys have seen it. Funny movie. I hate the way I say that there, like I don't really think it is a funny movie. I like Anchorman, it's good. So there's this scene where Will Ferrell's character is, you know, he's trying to hit on some girl, I think. And he's a local news anchor, and he's trying to say, oh, I'm famous, by the way. You know, so that she'll be interested in him, but she doesn't recognize him. And he keeps using other words to describe it. He says, I'm kind of a big deal. People know me. Stuff like that. My apartment smells of rich mahogany. Like, it's all these funny little jokes, and those were the titles. It goes kind of a big deal, and then it goes people know me, and they tweak it slightly. So it's my guild hall smells of rich mahogany, and so on and so on and so on. And then the final one, I can't remember. Is this actually in Anchorman? It must be. Does Will Ferrell really say this? He must say at some point at the end of the speech, I'm a god walking amongst mere mortals. Does he really say that? Anyway, so that's God walking amongst mere mortals. That's the meta. That's like the ultimate reward in Guild Wars 1. It's such an ultimate reward that if you connect the 2 accounts, you can get it in Guild Wars 2. And that's why you can see right now on my screen, there's God walking amongst mere mortals on the list. That's the title I've always repped on her. There's probably better things I can rep from Guild Wars 2 itself, but there you go. And if you ever see that in-game, you know that's a Guild Wars 1 player, a committed Guild Wars 1 player. Actually, these days, I don't know how hard it is to grind. The economies are different. It might be easier. It might be harder. I don't know. People often talk about it on the Guild Wars 1 subreddit. So there you go. That's the first half of the story. Then fast forward like 10 years. End of Dragons comes out. And with End of Dragons, we have fishing. And instead of kind of a big deal, you'll see this says kind of a big reel. So they're all fishing puns. It's the same thing. We're going to progress through it again, but they're fishing puns. And instead of God walking amongst mere mortals, it's going to be cod fishing, swimming, cod fishing. Cod swimming amongst mere minnows, I think, maybe? I might have actually titled this video wrong. I don't know whether it's fishing or swimming or walking or what. I assume it's swimming. Cod swimming amongst mere minnows is just too good. But there you go. So that's the idea. And this is not going to be as hard as getting Guam in Guild Wars 1. Guam being initialism. But yeah, we just do a map each time. So, oh, it is dawn now. So that's all I have to say, really. Let's head over to Kryta via our Lion's Arch key, which will get us there cheaper. Now, Kryta is not just one map. It's loads of maps. And have you guys noticed here as well how the game is kind of subtly suggesting with this that Sai Tung in End of Dragons is equivalent to a whole region? Do you get what I mean? Like, there's Sai Tung exists all on its own. This is just one map, but Kryta exists all on its own, and it's a fuck ton of maps. And in a way, they're trying to suggest like an equivalence. Do you know what I mean? In a way, I don't think that they're cynically doing that, but yeah. Anyway, so yeah, we got loads of places we could pick. I actually think I'm going to pick... Let's fish our way. Let's do this, okay? Let's fish our way like this. Out into Kessex, alright? And we're just going to get all the holes as we go. And that way there'll be a bit of structure and movement. And we can start here at Lion's Arch and the coastal fish. And once we've done the northern regions... Well, these ones... Oh, there's Harathi as well. Might make more sense to fish up. Oh, that's a cool... Oh, yeah, let's do it that way. Oh, yeah. Okay, so we're going to fish up through Harathi, through Lake Doric. I was going to say, and then we'll go to like Lake Doric and stuff. And then technically Blood Tide counts as well. In theory, so does Claw Island, but you can't go back there, so... See, I love how Liz has actually got the Sorrows Unbay unlocked, the Lion's Mane. I wonder, if you're too quick with the personal story and you don't unfog these... Oh, what am I talking about? You never unfog these, do you? You never actually go to the Lion's Mane. I really want them to use this. Man, even when they add Tengu, they need to do, like, a Tengu map and then, like, a leveling map, which overlaps with Claw Island or something. I don't know. How could they do that? Maybe this is a leveling and city map. And this is your 15 to... This one takes you to level 15. Like how Caledon takes you to 15. How Metrica Province takes you to 15. And then this one here is the 15 to 25. Oh, and if they went south enough, we could get the entrance to South Sun too. I just want the maps to be connected. Is that so weird? Anyway, all right, let's start fishing, I guess. So also, I have a skiff. So I'm actually finally now gonna hotkey my skiff because I've been avoiding doing it since End of Dragons came out. I only recently hotkeyed my fishing rod, and it's been like a huge QOL jump for me. So it's not under miscellaneous. Mount, dismount, mount specific mount. People often ask me for hotkey information. I think that this section here is probably the most important thing. Like, having a good setup for the mounts is just so nice. You guys remember I used to use Radial. And I might go back to that, actually, once I got Blish HUD on. Special action. Swap weapons. This is wild. Camera, map, mounts, spectators. Squad. Oh, mastery skills. Here you go. Weird. Weird. They added a whole section for this. You know, what does that suggest for mini X packs? So right now I use 0 on the numpad. Wait, summon Skiff. Is that really a button? Oh, no. That's what I want. That's what I want. Oh, I see. I put 0 as just the generic activate the skill. So whatever is currently highlighted, which is fishing. I see. Okay, so yeah, we want to do summon Skiff, and we want it to be on something I don't already have bound. Oh, here you go. Spectate blue 4, blue 5. So I'll have them all on the bottom. So Skiff, this is weird. I haven't pressed that button much. I actually can feel, believe it or not, on my G600 right now, under my thumb, that this button feels newer. Like the click feels fresher on it or something. I don't know, that's weird. All right, so 4... There we go. So now when I hit num 4, that should just work, shouldn't it? Oh no, it's not working because it's also on hit. No, I do use 4. What am I talking about? Of course I use 4. Why does that feel so weird under my thumb right now? This is odd. Why didn't it reveal that I use 4 as well? Alright, I'll tell you what, I'll just put a modifier on it then. I'll just put a modifier. So, naked O will just be whatever's highlighted, which is fishing. But control O will be get on the skiff. Which means I'm gonna... No, I don't want to jump before I get on the skiff every time. We'll do 0. Because yes, jump for me is on left control. We'll do shift. Shift O. There it is. And then... unfortunately, see, we can't do it while something. I really want to do a series of videos for this game where I just take a little part of the game. Do you guys, has anyone in chat watched MMO Inks? I don't know whether he still does it, but he used to, years ago, he used to do this series. Oh, whoops. That's weird, I've never done that. He used to do a series where, and I always thought it was a weird series to pick, to be honest. But he used to do a series, oh my god, I did it again. This is how hard it is for me to play while speaking. Where he used to review Black Lion chests. He used to literally say, and not like, oh, I enjoyed this, I did not enjoy this. He used to literally go through all the rewards and say, look, to me as a player, this is a shit reward. Or this was a good reward. This was kind of meh. This is something I think that they could do. And every time they updated the structure of the Black Lion chests, he would do that. And I swear I remember, like, he had the devs' attention on that as well. Like, I swear they actually said, yeah, we really like this feedback. I'm sure I remember that. And anyway, I think that what Inks did there, I think that's the kind of thing I should do, but for just individual little bits of the game. Like, literally just, like, and a Black Lion chest, like I said, I think that's kind of a weird thing to do a video about. But in a way, that's kind of good, right? Like tonics is such a... Who cares about tonics? Who's really going to sit down and say, let's have a workshop about tonics? You know, no, that's not going to happen. So maybe that's on me to prompt that. And I can just be like, yeah, look. Here's a shitty annoying thing about tonics. Half the stuff in the game now you can't do on a tonic. I can't mount on my tonic. It takes the tonic away. And it doesn't put it back on when I come off. I can't fish. I can't... If I go on my skiff, it turns it off. A bunch of combat stuff you can't do, like you can't collect jade bots and stuff. You can't use combat tonics in raids and strikes. Why not? Why can't I be a Coden while I'm raiding? You know? I was looking at the strike mission rewards from End of Dragons yesterday. Oh yeah, because check it out, guys. I swear to God, we will get to fishing eventually. I was buying my infusion, the HTCM infusion, and I was looking and I was like, oh, you know, you can look like Scarlet Briar now. There is a void combat tonic. How cool is that? I was thinking I'd love to have a void combat tonic. That would be so cool. But they're giving them as rewards, and you can't use them in the content you earn them in. You can't. There's something really odd about it. But yeah, so this is my druid. I still don't know what I'm doing. I've made her skin yellow because I've noticed if you have a green Sylvari as a ranger, and then you like want to dye the gear green or something, it just all blends together. I think yellow skin is cool. I think grey skin's really good as well, like dark, very black, like ashen skin. That's also really good on a Sylvari, especially if you want them to look a bit like an Ent. But I already have that on my Necro. I already have a female Sylvari with like charcoal skin, so I didn't go with that. But so I went with yellow here. But yeah, this is my druid look. But my soul beast look, you know, I got the pink flowers in the hair. I got the pink accents. I got this flower on my back, which isn't too good, to be honest. But yeah, you see all the petals falling around? That's the HTCM infusion. And I kind of, this is the only character it really fits for. Now, there is a backpack in End of Dragons. Whoopsie. It's amazing how many of these I don't have now. Yeah, there's a backpack, this cultivated cherry thing. That's from Canuck coins, so that's using Canuck's casino. And I could get it, I think it does fit. But the problem is it kind of clips into her hair. But I can't change the hair because the hair has the flowers on it. If I could like lower it on the back or something. So I don't know, what's good about this flower is it comes off to the side. Mordry kind of fits, but again, it's like, I don't know, it's weird. The other part of the infusion, by the way, is when you unsheath. If you look at my feet, this swirls around. And then when you sheath again, it does it again, you see. And here we can use the big tonic, make it look a little bit bigger here. And it's subtle. The wind effect I kind of don't like. I wish the wind wasn't there. But, you know, beggars can't be choosers. Well, am I a beggar if I just sunk 100 ecto, over 1,000 crystals and beat HCCM for it? But yeah, I don't know. It's nice, and I think it fits on a quite well. This, by the way, if you guys remember a few years ago, we had a member of the community who, like, designed a bunch of skins and dyes for a bunch of characters on my account. This is still largely enough the outfit that they'd picked. I still got a few of them kicking around. I've started making my own at this point, but you know, like my engineer has a like a white lab coat outfit and stuff. Yeah, while we're looking at skins, I don't know what it is about Lion's Arch, by the way, guys. Something about the map you're in changes the shaders and the materials in like a really big way. But check out how unbelievably shiny the legendary heavy is with Juggernaut here in LA. Already pretty shiny, right? And then when we unsheath, it's just ludicrous. It's just insane. I need a good backpack for this guy as well. I don't want capes on everything. I just cannot believe it. And this is actual shiny. This isn't glow. This is just shininess. It's just fucking bonkers, isn't it? But yeah, I like the Quicksilver. I like the trail. I wish the trail was there even when I'm not using skills, because it only tends to appear when you're swinging. New legendaries don't do that. They have the trail there all the time. And it's a good idea, you know, Quicksilver. It is a good idea. But yeah, anyway, so right, let's get back towards the fishing now. Yeah, so tonics. I think there's a lot to say about them. What I would love as well is I would love a generic tonic, and then I would love a combat tonic, you know? Or maybe just, I don't know, maybe you just give people 4 hotkeys and they can define them however the fuck they want. You know, because I love the big tonic, the embiggening tonic, I think is really cool. Like, I always like this. I would always want this on. I feel like this looks cool with this. But then also, yeah, I want to look like a Coden. I want to look like Scarlet Briar. I want to look like a void creature. And yeah, it just feels a bit iffy. There you go. I didn't use my hotkey. Alright, so let's start fishing. Now that it's the morning time. Now, as far as I know, there's no such thing as morning and dawn and dusk fish. There's no such thing as those. So, you know, the timing is never that tight with this feature. So, the other thing, I'm going to just do a quick tutorial about fishing. First of all, there's the mastery line, which I just have maxed out. So I'm just going to assume if you guys are doing this. By the way, if you guys want to do this with me, you can come in game. I will squad up. You can join my squad. Because the more the merrier. We actually get buffs from doing it together. But yeah, pretty rubbish masteries generally. You can cast the line further. I don't know. The thing is with this, as with so many mastery lines, you finished it before you really appreciate what it's given you. Like if I had spent hours fishing and then finally got the line extension, I think that would be really cool. But the line extension is like one of the first things you get. Anyway, each time you level this up, you get fishing power. Fishing power increases your chance to get rare fish. So as you can see here, I'm on 550. Now the reason I'm on 550 is because the last mastery gives you this buff here, fishing on a full tank. So that's free 100 fishing power as long as you've eaten food. Any food you like. It could be combat food, it can be shitty festival food, whatever. Just as long as you have a nourishment on you, you'll get a free 100. But on top of that, there are actually fishing nourishments. So here, this whitefish sushi. This on its own gives me 150. So I get 150 from this, plus 100 from the mastery, plus all the other little bits. It basically means that just with some basic bait, I got some scorpions, because usually I'm fishing in the desert, and scorpions as bait in the desert is amazing, right, by the way? Isn't that just such a cool idea? I love that. And I have a fishing lure, I have baits, I have 2 very basic skins. Anyway, that means I'm at 550. Now, this literally means all I need to do is eat this sushi. That is it. And I have 550. And that's more than enough, as far as I'm aware, to catch anything I need in 99.9% of the maps. I think there's one map. I think when we go to Draconis Mons later, if this series ends up going anywhere, I think at Draconis Mons you need like 700 or something. But, yeah, that's it, really. I mean, the problem with having a commander tag is I don't get to see the exclamation mark above my head when I catch a fish. No one's joining anyway, so we'll just do that. If you guys want to come, just come find me on my boat. I'm on NA at the moment. I'm on NA, I'm not on EU. And, that's probably going to cut the number of people we can get. There's probably a bunch of people on EU standing there wondering, where is he? Because NA's probably asleep right now. Anyway, so yeah, and what I like to do as I fish is I like to get my... Well, first, let's turn off these arc windows. Okay. So, what I like to do is get a nice clean inventory, like so. Well, first, okay, what we need to do is compact. And then compact again. And then there's the... Well, I don't know. Okay, hold on. What we're going to do... We'll do it this way. Cons. So, we're going to eat this eel. The marbled lungfish. Because some of these are desert fish. And we're not going to be getting desert fish. The Ellen Tetra. These memories of otter. Why do I have memories of otter? Oh, I know why. Because I have been slowly working on some old Icebrood Saga achievements. Get these. And then... So, I think that guppy was from Kryta, to be honest with you. I think that's all my fish done. Sorry if that was very loud for people. That was a, not Dragon Bash. Wait, yeah, no, not Dragon Bash. I always get it confused. The Lunar New Year, that was a Lunar New Year thing, still kicking around in this is inventory. I know people are going to judge me for inventory right now, but to be fair, it's not that bad. Oh yeah, and you can fish up tonics and stuff. Okay, so here's what I like to do. I like to get a nice clean inventory, clean enough. Get it nice and empty, and what we're going to do is we're actually going to leave this on screen here, okay? Because now, as we fish up, trust me, this is a really good technique I'm talking about here. Oh, we have a pie request. You're welcome to join. And we should get some money from this as well, by the way. I'm curious where we'll come out. We have 52 gold at the start. So we get that molly. I'm going to move the molly down there. Alright, there you go. That's that fishing hole done. That is the only fishing. We actually didn't need to be on a skiff at all for that. We could have done it from the shoreline. Okay, so now we're going to go to the water. Let's change our outfit as well. We're going to cycle through our fashion. Okay, so this should be our next outfit here. This outfit is, I don't know. It's alright. I think I have 2 templates with this exact same outfit. And, this one's just died worse than the other one. The best thing about this setup is the shadow back piece. The cape. I'm actually wearing a cape right now, you see. But the cape goes underneath the Arar shoulders. It's just so good. I love these Arar shoulders so much. They just remind me of, I've told this anecdote a few times, but I like telling it because I feel like people are going to forget. Back in when the game came out, PvP rewards were totally different. And the only way you could get the Arar stuff was by grinding really hard, getting to like Phoenix level or something, like getting really, really high rank, or by doing like the paid tournaments, the really difficult tournaments. And so the good players were always wearing those. And I remember there was an Asuran Ellie who used to play like DD Ellie and like some of the early betters who had the shoulders, and I saw that and I was like, wow, they look cool, and it's like a mark of prestige. And ever since then I've loved that. I'm not really too into the fashion, but there are certain things where I over the game's history where I've thought that's badass. Another thing was once I was in Dredgehorn Cliffs. You know the mini dungeon that got added at Halloween at Dredgehorn Cliffs? It was like the Halloween patch came out, and then the Fractals patch came out a little bit later. And I remembered, like, right around that first Christmas, I was at Dredgehorn, and I saw a thief. And the thief had an incinerator, first of all, really badass. Not many people had legendaries at that time. They had an incinerator in one hand. They were dual-wielding daggers. So they had a red, fiery dagger. And in the other hand, they had the fractal dagger, which was like has like an icy white effect. And that thing of just dual-wielding incinerator and the fractal dagger was just fucking badass to me back then as well. The game can never support experiences like that anymore. Never. Not in a million years. Not with all the crazy shit that's been in the gem store over the years and, you know, all the varieties and stuff. And that's not necessarily a fault of the game that I'm talking about. So you see how this fish is harder to get? It's because we've ran out of sushi. And so my fishing power is actually really low here. If I eat in the middle of this, does it make it easier retroactively? I doubt it will. Yeah, because see, our hook, we're only at... Oh, mind you, it's just where it's 600 and this recommends 4... This is crazy. This is so hard. This is much harder than anything you get at Amnoon fishing. Oh, so close. I sometimes do go back to that and I think, oh, I should do the incinerator fractal dagger thing, but I don't know. It's tricky. I think if you want the weapons to look really good, you have to be really conservative about how your armor looks. You have to like have really small minimalistic armor so that the weapons are like the main thing on show. But I don't know, there's probably better ways of doing fire and ice now. Like maybe you just do like the gold and silver at least. Surely you just do a gold fractal weapon, right? You do the gold dagger and then the other dagger. By the way, I can hear a lot of party members. If we have more than 5, if someone wants to tag up, we can just do this as a squad. Anyone can do that. I just don't want to be the tag because I want to see my exclamation mark. I don't like using the sound cue too much. But I'll be looking at chat soon and basically relying on it. So anyway, the game here is we want to get each of these fish. I haven't really looked at what we're getting here. So what are we getting? Delavian guppies. So Delavan. Lake Delavan is a thing, right? This is Lake Bounty, Lake Gendar. Isn't Lake Delavan a thing? Yeah, Lake Delavan. I'm such a nerd, man. I'll tell you, if it's about early Guild Wars 2 shit, like right around the launch areas. I knew that rang a bell. It was either Guild Wars or something, but yeah, so that's Lake Delavan. Apparently we're finding them around here as well. So we got Delavan. We got Sailfin mollies. So Sailfin, is that a lake as well? Is there a Lake Sailfin? I don't think so. That doesn't really ring a bell. I mean, there might be. It makes me think of scale, you know? Like, is there such a thing as a Sailfin scale? So maybe something down here. I assume that when we get to the beach area, it's different fish, right? Because I assume there's a freshwater, saltwater thing going on. Also, I'm going to quite rudely just get on the boat once my fishing hole is done. And just go. So if you guys are finding you're getting your fishing cancelled constantly, you know, mounts are not allowed in this area. You've been dismounted. That wasn't technically a mount, was it, ArenaNet? And I'm going to lose my fishing party bonus now. Alright, so I'll talk about this. So here, you see it says losing association with Skiff. If you spend too long away from your Skiff, you'll lose your fishing buffs. But basically what's happening here is, as long as everyone in the party or the squad is fishing together, every new fish you get fish up starts building more and more fishing power for you. So by doing it together, we're actually getting rarer and rarer and rarer fish. It will go all the way up to 99 stacks. I think we were already on like 20 there, but we've just lost them because obviously we got kicked off there. My god, I have made the strongest coffee. That is gross. How have I messed up? So we get a black bass. So you see, this is what I'm going to recreate the achievement thing. Now, speaking of the achievement thing, we do need specific bait for some stuff. So this is any bait, any time of day, any bait, any time of day, any bait at night time, any. So he wants fish eggs. So we're going to have to figure out where we can get fish eggs. Oh yeah, this Willbender. Guys, I really, really want Willbender to be better. If I could endorse one change in a balance patch, it would be to bring Power Willbender, like, roaring into the game. Because I love the fire tinged with, like, the blood and stuff. Oh, it's so good. And I got a pretty cool Willbender appearance going on at the moment. Why can I not? Or is it all too shallow, is it? Yeah, it was. It's all too shallow. Yeah, I don't really have any great skiffs either way, by the way. I don't have a single skiff skin in the game. Because I wasn't really playing this year. Oh, last year, end of January. Oh, fuck, I did it again. Well, whatever, let's just skim her, since we don't have any stacks anyway. Actually, we're probably just going to lose stacks a bunch as we go from one water body to the next, right? Can move that. That looks even cleaner there now, doesn't it? So gulp of fish. There you go. There's some lake fish here. Let's use our hotkey. Nice. I had a video yesterday as well, a Q&A, where for about 10 seconds I was on a boat at the end, and one of the comments I read when I came back to the video after a while was, WP, you're shit at driving a boat. And it's true, it's because I crashed it. I crashed it. In the tiny bit of footage that was in that video, I had crashed the boat. So fish eggs, though. I don't know. Fish eggs seems a bit weird. Alright, we get a sun scale striker. Oh, the other thing as well with fishing is there are some other collections that kind of don't fit into the rest. Like this one here, World Class Fisher. These represent ultra rare fish that can come from anywhere. Kryta, Canther, Maguma, the Ring of Fire, anywhere. You just have a chance to get in these. And as you can see, I've actually got like nearly all of them already because of all the fishing I've been doing for money in the Crystal Desert. But these are usually worth quite a lot of money. So this goldfish here, for example, you can sell it for a gold. And then there's the silverfish, armored scalefish, red herring, bloodfish, fangfish, bonefish, totemfish. You see they're relating to the T6 mats as well. Twilight striker, dustfish, sunscale. So that's what we just got there. The sunscale striker. See, I thought I recognised it. That is not a Krytan fish. That's just an ultra rare, basically. So I'm just going to deposit that. And then the moonfin. So a daytime fish and a nighttime fish, basically. The sun and the moon. And I know it looks like just a little bit of flavour text or whatever, but I really like that about this game. The way that they did fishing here. So it strikes me. I mean, they're emoting, but there's no way boosting is prudent. See. It's just not a good idea. Oh man, see, this is the unfortunate thing about the fishing bonus. I kind of want to stand on that pier and fish off of the pier. But to do so, I think I'd start losing my stacks again. So you're sort of disincentivized. Not that I think in reality it matters much, but hey. Fish egg from an Omicron map. I've had random fish egg. This coffee is gross. I need to dilute it. But all I have next to it is a bottle of blackcurrant juice. Would diluting coffee with blackcurrant juice be a good idea? Do we dare? What would that do? It'd be just like putting a bit of sugar in it, wouldn't it, really? I've gone for it. I'm mad. I've given it a shot. I think it'll be all right. It's very weak black orange juice, and it's going into very strong coffee. Oh, how am I? Oh. Well, we got another one. Oh yeah, you also get trash items. There's a collection for trash items, so I'll keep a little. I'll keep these here. So this is the shattered fishing cage. Sometimes the cage gets something stronger than it's meant for, and they break out. Other times something bigger. Yeah, we missed it. Damn it. Other times something bigger is hungry and breaks in. I'll only know if I try. Yeah, sorry. So yeah, how's it going, chat? Basically, the question is, the situation is, if you guys have any questions or anything you want to talk about, throw it at me because we got some time to kill it. My assumption is this will take a couple of hours, but I don't know for sure. Willbender DPS's power DPS is pretty good. Yeah, I don't know. I think if the alacrity, I did a Dragon's End yesterday, and I saw someone I used to play a little bit of PvP with. Valen was there, and he was playing Willbender alacrity in my sub, funnily enough, and he did really well with it. I mean, we had permanent alacrity uptime. I don't know. I think Willbender's so cool. You know, the dual wielding swords are cool. The red and the blue is cool. The lore with Shiro and the assassins is cool. It's really fucking awesome. But to play it, it's just like everything feels a bit limp, and it feels too much just like a normal greatsword guardian. It feels too much like a normal sword guardian, and it has too many ports. And the really cool Grandmaster trait, the invulnerability thing, doesn't really have any amazingly fun application either that I've come across. And if you're going with the invulnerability thing, then you're not one of the more useful roles. So it's just there's a lot of ugliness about it, and it is a shame because thematically I think it is awesome. I think all told, if I could have it my way, I would love to just go through the End of Dragon's era on Willbender. And by the way, what is the End of Dragon's era? We're talking about what, 12 months more? That's it, and then we're off into somewhere else. But who knows what's going on with specs and stuff at that point. Ooh. We've got 8 of these striped base. There's so many. Do I need a specific lure for a lot of these? It says any bait. Oh yeah, okay, so the other thing is, you see these left 3? So there's special fish you get out of the holes, like this churning water here. But there's also fish, generic fish, like junk fish, that you get just from any old area of water. So like just around us here. So what I'm going to do is just fish, like, I don't know, over there. And with this, we might find a crawfish, a speckled perch, or a spotted flounder. Minnow and shrimp are good for Krytan fish at this time. I don't know whether I have either of those. There you go, see, we got a crawfish straight away. So just each time I do a hole, I'll go into open water. And when we finish this, by the way, we get 6 Ancient Ambergris, which is, I believe, 12 gold. It might even be more than that at the moment, because... sorry about all the UI on the screen. It might even be more than that at the moment, because... the Suwon variants just came out, and prices might have gone up. But also, in the new map, Gyala Delve, apparently there's a thing where you can get loads of legendary fish for free. So it might have also tanked the economy. I hope it hasn't. ArenaNet have ruined something good if they've tanked the economy, but... Myself and Molly. Oh, this was... Yeah, okay, so the crawfish goes there. That's actually not a junk fish. That's just a white fish. Can you join by your name? You get an error with the party saying I'm in one. What you need to do is type squad join, SQ join, and then space list, just the 3 letters, LYS. That should work. Unless you're on EU. This is North America at the moment. This is either people who really should go to bed, or early morning risers. You get diminishing returns, so it shouldn't tank the economy. But what kind of diminishing returns? I mean, if it's daily, then it's... Well, obviously it'll be daily, won't it? So, as we fish, by the way, you see we got this. It says fishing party. We're at T3 now. And it shows how much power we... I think T4 or 5 is the highest. And then we get the strongest perks. Okay, and then I'll just do one in open waters. Oh, it's 10 in the east. Oh, yeah, that's a good point, yeah. I forget the fact that time has moved since I first started setting this video up. And I made my amazing thumbnail with a giant barracuda over the front of the Queensdale loading screen art. What I'm going for with that thumbnail is a bit of nostalgia and a bit of jokiness. The broken ore still works if you don't mind splinters. Sorry to interrupt that person. I'm really sorry. Oh, you think it's SEA hours at the moment? What are SEA hours, though? Because depending on what side of, say, Australia you're in, there's different time zones, right? So mostly we've just been getting lake fish here. What is it? Lake fish and river fish? Oh, there's something under the boat. Yeah, fishing hole river fish. River. Yeah, and so the final tier are legendaries. So they're what we're really going for. That's what we want super high fishing power for. But basically, we only need 3 legendaries for the whole collection. If I go on a fishing, like, bonanza or whatever, what I usually do in the Crystal Desert is I do a day and night cycle. Like, I'll go there, I'll fish through the sun, night will fall, I'll fish through the night, and then after the sun comes back up, in game obviously, then I stop. And usually I get around 10 legendaries from that. It's varying, it varies, you know, maybe it can be as low as like 7 or something, but we're only looking for 3 here. And what I just described is a 2-hour span of time. So what is this? This is shrimp, minnows, and minnows. Oh, I see, we should get minnows on now then. Does anyone know where I can buy minnows? Because right now, we have absolutely no chance at a legendary. In chat or in game, if anyone has any advice for where we can get minnows. Where's that round goby that I caught? It's a koi tonic. Put that there. Maybe I caught that another day. In the Lion's Arch lobster. You can get minnows in Ekavald. Oh, that's true. Yeah, I don't know. Is the lobster... that's a great place for a fishing vendor, by the way, underneath the lobster. That's like a 10 out of 10 spot. Very inspired. Okay, we'll go to the lobster and see what he's selling. I do actually remember I needed minnows for one of my elite spec collections. So I went... I'm just going to go now, guys, because it really is... Every fish we get right now is not necessary. By me doing that, I would have deleted the boat under people's feet, and I'm really sorry. This waypoint was broken, by the way, for ages. It was sending you under the map for some reason. Nice to see that it's fixed now. Where would the guy be under the lobster? Probably in the actual docking area. Right, let's change our outfit again now. Oh no, I see the icons over there. Oh, of course, this is Kryta as well. Hello. Will you just trade my stuff up?
You buying something?
Alright, he sells fish eggs and minnows. Yeah, nice. He's here. Anyone doing this with me? Okay, so we want shrimp for the black lion fish. That's very good. We want minnows. Well, that's minnows at night. Shrimp at the day. Shrimp at the day at the coast, actually, is what we want for the black lionfish. Well, shrimp at the coast at any time. Shrimp at the coast, minnows in the lake, minnows in the river. Okay, so let's get a jar of minnows. Each jar of minnows is 25. So let's buy 15 jars. That's a stack and a bit. Let's equip them. So no more scorpions. The fish around Kryta don't like scorpions, as it would seem.
You buying something?
And then the shrimplings, let's do the same. It's actually cheaper than the scorpions as well. Yeah, okay, so shrimp during the day on the coast for a holy mackerel. So we should really get that done. So let's just fish here, like literally right here. Oh! Nice, and this guy's dropped some crispy fish pancakes here. I'm still amazed by the detail on these plates. Which is slightly more fishing power for us. Which compensates for what we just lost for losing the other thing. So there's a coastal fish spot over there. So yeah, this appearance for Liz is weird, and I don't know whether I really like the outfit that much, because basically this is Order of Whispers. So the thing that I've got with Liz is I want her to have like an element, I want her to have some appearances that reflect the elite specialization, okay? So, a quintessential Catalyst appearance, a quintessential Tempest appearance, a quintessential Weaver appearance, right? But then also, she's an Asura, so I really want like an Asuran outfit. We haven't seen that yet. And also, the other big thing that I care about is the Order. What I would love to see in the mini X packs is if the Orders start mattering again. That would be so fucking cool, wouldn't it? If this patch that we just had a bunch of stuff about the Orders of Tyria, oh, that would be so good. By the way, I didn't actually equip the shrimps, did I? That would be so good. So anyway, so I wanted an Order of Whispers appearance for her. I really think that's good. I want her to have like a spy appearance. That's like a part of her personality, you know? By the way, I hate that everything I'm talking about here is locked behind build templates and legendaries. I feel like lots of players should be able to roleplay like this. So anyway, so this is the Whispers appearance. So, but it's also the Weaver appearance. So she has the Weaver gloves. She has the elemental sword with fire and water. She has the lightningy dagger. We don't really have anything representing Earth, which sort of sucks. But I mean, Catalyst kind of feels like it does all that as well anyway. But yeah, the bats are a weird thing. See, the thing is, the Order of Whispers outfit doesn't have separate shoulders. The shoulders essentially don't exist. So they're a free slot. So you can put an aura on them. So there's two that I know about. There's Night Fury for bats. Or there's Winter's Presence for ice. And the ice is kind of another element, but I don't know. It's too thick. It's just gross, you know. I really don't like the gross, blurry shit in the game anymore. And I don't know. I feel like it takes away from like the crispness of the colours or something. Am I talking insane? Am I crazy? So then I thought, well, Night Fury is bats. It doesn't really fit, but you know, spooky, Order of Whispers. So I don't know. I could, of course, just ignore the shoulder piece altogether. Or if there's another one you guys know, let me know. And then the back piece is the top tier Whispers back piece from Heart of Thorns, which just fits perfectly, doesn't it? So anyway, that's her Whispers appearance. And I don't really know what I'm doing with the shoulders. But wrong one again. We will get the muscle memory for this. Yeah, feel free to use your own boats as well, guys. I'll happily ride side saddle. So we just need to go somewhere else on the coast here now. Here we go. Oh god, yeah, the coffee it's worse. It's not good. It now just tastes sugary, but it has not lost any of its tartiness. Tartiness? Is that the right word? It feels like grimy. Do you know what I mean? Like you can feel grit on your tongue after you've tasted it. That's how strong it is. I swear I only put a spoon in. Anyone got one of those old PlayStation 1 era fishing rod controllers that work with a PC? You have plans for it with Guild Wars 2? That's a funny thought. I didn't even know they made those. Really? Fishing rods for Guild Wars, for PlayStation 1? WP, did you see you can fish in Gala Delve? Very high rate of catching legendaries. Yes, we were just talking about that. I haven't actually done it yet. You think Valen's Alacrity is a healer? I think he was playing DPS yesterday in the sub. It's hard to tell in Dragon's End because there's 50 people, you know. I only have 10, the top 10 DPS on the nameplate. I'll wait for this guy to get his fish up. I'll be polite here. It's 10 for you in Canada. You just had a big snowstorm. You're chilling with close to a foot of fresh snow. Jesus Christ. Are you going to expect that for many months more? I mean, we're finally leaving winter now, right? We're into spring, the best time of the year. Winter is but a pitiful memory. You have so many fishy pancakes, they're cheap to cook. You don't sweat it anymore. Yeah, I actually haven't done any Ascended cooking for ages. I really don't remember how the system works anymore with the gardening and everything. I really don't. I actually consider it a real failure of the Icebrood saga. People don't think about it much. But I think that Ascended cooking was a really big opportunity for the game. A huge opportunity. And I feel like they missed the mark. It's maybe not without redemption. It would just take a little bit of time thinking about it and the improvements that could be made. And again, that's the kind of thing. You know, I just mentioned that tonic thing. I reckon you could do a spotlight on Ascended cooking as well. And you know, a couple of weeks ago, I was saying I was a bit insecure about doing videos where I put my ideas out there or whatever, you know, because I hadn't had good experiences with it in the past. I don't know if you guys remember me saying that. But actually, to tell you the truth, everyone's been really nice and really, like, welcoming and just lovely about anything I've talked about lately. You know, we talked about the cultural specs and we talked about the ascensions and all that kind of stuff. Everyone was just really positive and enthusiastic and just cool. I mean, it was really nice. So I actually do have that confidence. I think that could be quite cool. It's snowing for you as well. See, now sailing into that cave is very unlikely to produce any coastal fish. So let's not worry about that. Oh, here we go. Almost sailed over it. Now, if we look very carefully, we might be able to sight the whale beneath us. Let's see, where are we? We're at 650. I think usually in the Crystal Desert I'm at around 800, 850. But I think the rest of that comes from the fishing power. So this is the nice advantage of doing it with you guys. We get, we do get the squad bonus, which hopefully means we'll do it slightly quicker than we otherwise would have. Oh, we got the Holy Mackerel. Oh my god, I'm blind. We got the Holy Mackerel already. Okay. Alright, so let's return to our road trip now then. We'll get this and then we'll sail back out. I think that's the only thing we were really looking for, wasn't it? So, let's see here. The crawfish was up there. He was up there. He was down there. He was below him. He's there. He doesn't belong at all. And then the Holy Mackerel is on the bottom. Like that. Okay. And then you're just junk, so we'll keep you separated. One more. Oh, my heel marks them on the minimap. You are right. I totally forgot about that. I completely forgot about that. See, I noticed I just don't consider pressing certain buttons right now. I'm sure this is just because I'm getting old. Like, I did that live playthrough of the patch. And I was wondering why no one was getting on my turtle. And then later in the comments, people were like, WP. I'm sorry, I think I just interrupted someone. They were like, WP, you have to press Q to get people on. And it's like, yeah, there's a big obvious button there. Why wasn't I pressing Q? Why wasn't I doing it? I just seem to be completely blind to it. Yeah, alright, let's head on out now. Can you fish in old LA? Did they put fishing spots in Old LA? I know when we went there, we saw someone had a rod there, but... And we saw a couple of role players. Actually, to be honest, if there is still a role-playing community in Guild Wars... Let's not anchor, let's just get out. If there is still a role-playing community in Guild Wars, a good one, they must be so happy with Old Lion's Arch, because it's like getting another map. Well, maybe I'm talking shit. You can probably roleplay all over the place. The thing is, they like to sequester themselves off, don't they? Because people make fun of them and stuff, or interfere. I think that would be such a problem for me if I ever wanted to roleplay in Guild Wars. I don't think I could ever fully immerse, because I would always be slightly... my back would always be slightly up about the fact that some prick might come along and, like... I don't know. Do you know what I mean? Like, they don't even have to do anything, really. It's just going to take me out of the moment. You can only fish in Old LA? Yeah. I remember Boots used to have that roleplay series as well, and he invited me on as a special guest on one episode, and I was just so bad. I mean, if he was here now, he'd say, I got the giggles, and I just couldn't do it. I just felt very weird improvising and not a professional actor. What can I say? All right, so now we leave. Now we go off of the.
Please stop hurting Quaggan.
Shrimp. And we go. Oh, that's a bit sinister and sad. I just want to fish, and there's a Quaggan dying below us. I feel like fishing is slightly less magical in a game where you've been swimming underneath for years already. Like, if you literally couldn't swim down there, it would probably be quite captivating thinking about what lies beneath. Hey WB, sorry if you asked this earlier. Do you know when you'll be going with the new... Where I'll be going with the new FF14 community? Where I'll be going with the community... What, am I taking them somewhere? What am I doing? I don't know what you mean. If you're asking where I will produce content, basically, I need to do some research and I need to do some reading. I was so tempted for a second there to ask for advice from chat, but I was like, no, at a certain point, you're just being lazy and bad at your job. But basically, I need to find a way. I want to have my cake and eat it too. I want to do it on Twitch because... Well, I don't know, because half the Twitch features aren't there anymore. I don't know. I like Twitch as a I like you know, when we were at the end of Shadowbringers and we had, you know, like 1,000 people watching us just do random story and stuff. That felt really good. Or, you know, the end of the story, it got really... We had all the, like, the super chats and stuff. It felt really active. It felt really, really fun. And I am under the impression some people are still waiting on Twitch for me to go back and they'll watch it if they see it on Twitch. And I don't know, I kind of got used to the features and the systems and stuff there. It's nice to be on more than one place than just YouTube. The thing is, what I think happened was I, for years and years and years, had the very distinct impression that everything I was doing on Twitch was only reaching a fraction of my audience. And it would be much, much better if I was putting VODs on YouTube, but I didn't want sort of, air quotes, lazy content there and stuff. How is this guy still fishing? So I had this impression that it was only a tiny proportion of people, but I think no. I think the truth is just only a tiny proportion of people want to watch it live. You know, when you come from YouTube and that's sort of your main thing. And I've seen that through doing the YouTube streams, unless it's just that the YouTube streams don't push or whatever. So basically, one of the big reasons why I wanted to try it on YouTube isn't there anymore, because I'm no longer deluded basically into thinking there's a lot more people would watch if I just did it elsewhere. That I'm not deluded in that way anymore. So you know, I'm happy to go back to Twitch. I think it'd be nice, but the quality is really good here. Like, you guys can watch this at 1440p 60 frames a second right now. Like, it's really good. It's like proper content that you're getting here in terms of quality. And, you know, YouTube embeds the chat on the side and stuff. It's nice. I really like it. And it's so easy to set up and do. So I want to find a way where I can stream to Twitch and simultaneously to YouTube without fucking around with extra rendering and extra uploading and stuff, where it's all smooth and easy. But hopefully in such a way that doesn't invalidate my Twitch partnership. which I assume I've still got, even though I haven't streamed for a year. So I don't know. We'll see. That's all the shit I need to think about. That's what I need to look up. And then what I'll do is, yeah, I'll have it as a series on Twitch, but it will be simultaneously coming up here onto YouTube and not onto WP1. See, the thing I quite like about YouTube at the moment is there are 2 tabs, you know. There's the WoodenPotatoes video tab with, like, the video I did yesterday, well, all the videos I did this week, really. And then there's the live tab, which is, you know, this kind of stuff. And I kind of like that. If I can just dump stuff into the live tab, I'll be happy to put it on WP1, which is better than it used to be. I used to have it where I would do a Twitch stream, and then it would go up on WP2, and so only a fraction of you would know about Twitch, and an even smaller fraction of you would know about WP2. So, but now, what I can do, in theory, is I can have it all on the main channel, and it's a little bit buried by being in the live tab, but it's not too bad, is it, really? So, I think there's a cool compromise there. There's a cool thing I can do, maybe, where I do get to have everything. This guy's got an interesting look, by the way, with the moon on the back. And, like, quite the thick robes. And I like male Sylvari with the very green hair. Oh, he's just recast. I'm not waiting. You find Twitch super confusing. Twitch is on the way out, not gonna lie. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I keep hearing people talk shit about Twitch, like... I don't know. It's a weird website. The other day, last I was on Twitch was 2 nights ago, where where my friend linked me to a NASA stream. So I was literally watching on Twitch astronauts preparing to take off. Okay. Now, to me, if that's the kind of content on the platform, that doesn't say that that's a platform on the way out. However, at the same time, the top channel that they recommended I watch was some girl famous for, like, being a titty streamer. And we all clicked it in Discord, and when we clicked it, she was literally standing there with her bare arse out in a mirror behind her. And I was like, how is this on? So it was just like the 2 worlds of Twitch there, I thought, what the fuck? On the one hand, this is a hell of a website. On the other hand, look at the kind of content that they've got here now and that they're endorsing. I don't know what really any of it means. I still just think of it as a gaming platform. And oh, there you go. We get the Royal Pike. And it's not like YouTube is the best. YouTube's got really crappy moderation. YouTube has bot issues, though they've gone away now, which is good. I don't know whether they've decided this is too low priority of a channel at this point. Yeah, last lake fish, and then we're going to move north. See, swapping maps is shit, though, because we lose our stacks. But we will make this an adventure. Yeah, I don't know. YouTube is easy and high quality. That's the 2 bars it's got. That's the 2 things it's got. And it's, well, and also, it's the organisation. It's there forever, you know. Anyone might come back to this and think, yeah, you know what, I want to have a cosy morning. You know, 2 years from now, someone else might be snowed in. And then I think, oh, let's just chill and talk about, listen to some fishing or something. I don't know. When it's not live anymore, it does lose a bit of value, doesn't it? Let's be real, But yeah, so anyway, I definitely will be going back to Endwalker very soon. And, well, Final Fantasy very soon, and that's my current thing that I'm chewing with. It doesn't matter, though, because Tomb Raider and FF6 will finish first. So, we're a couple of weeks away, anyway. The big issue with YouTube that hinders it from overtaking Twitch is the trash discoverability. Yeah, I mean, I suppose so. I'm kind of beyond all that stuff, though. I don't really care. Like, people in Discord were saying, oh, WP, Twitch drops, oh, there were so many views last time they did it, and I'm not... You know, I'll go as far as posing a thumbnail as a question, which is what I did here today, you know, to try and help with SEO and stuff, but honestly, all the SEO and, like, the grifting and that shit, it sort of just kills me, to be honest. Alright, I just saw he got a fish. AFK 1 minute. Well, that's okay, because we're going to go up north now. Now, technically, the law is it goes up there, but we can't sail up there, unfortunately, everyone. So, what we're going to do instead is we're going to shore at the Provence shore. We're going to walk north and hop into the water up there. I mean, most Twitch streamers upload to YouTube afterwards anyway. Well, yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I did that as well. It was just on my second channel. Now I think I can do it on my main channel, which will be really good. The other thing is, I'm a bit of an old boy, really, now, as far as all this stuff's concerned. I definitely come from an era where people really sneered on, like, VOD content, lazy, cheaply made crap that's just been repurposed and thrown up. And I've always been very insecure of people, like, you know, going on about that if I ever started doing it, which is why I put it on WP2. But now that there's a proper live tab for it, none of that matters, you know. We're sort of... And I think people's opinions are changing too, and I need to continue thinking about that fact. Let's check if there's any watering holes over here, just so that it really is like we fished up through. There you go, there's a river fish. And this is good, because we need river fish. Is this guy farmable? I don't know, he seems to spawn often here. What map is that chat from? If that was from Gendaran, they might be talking about the New Living World event that happens outside the map. You know, I didn't realise that either. I saw it on Event Timers. You know, there's like an Assault on Lion's Arch mini-event that happens in Gendaran every now and then. It's supposedly quite profitable too. There you go, we get the Divinity Anglerfish. I like that. For an exotic. It's a good name. Not dead play. This is good as well, by the way. I don't know if you guys saw this. I was doing this with Kerry last night. They added achievements to go through and get all the Shrine Guardians across End of Dragons, which are achievements I think should have been there from the start. But they've added them now, and you get a really cool mini from doing it. So find every single one of the little mini puzzles, basically. Really cool. There you go. We get a queen fish. They're really coming in now. And I think either they should have been there originally, or actually there's something else that's quite cool that's going on. ArenaNet might have been really savvy about that. They might have known the whole time that they were going to do that achievement second, just because it feels like the patch is meatier now. It feels like Gayala Delve's release has a bit more to it, because they put a really smart achievement in that puts you back into End of Dragon stuff. Does that make sense? This is back to lake fish here, but it's fine. So there's a transition between lake and river right here, it seems. Let's go right on in and see. Is there another river spot? I somehow doubt it. And the fact that there's trees is very weird here. Oh, there is. Nice. Very good. Very good. Nice ambient little spot here as well. Oh, this is actually exactly what I want from the fishing feature. Take me to weird, quiet, sweet areas of the world that I wouldn't think about normally. Of course, I don't know whether most players are incentivized to do it this way. Wouldn't they just stick about in the same place forever? Well, no, they wouldn't. They wouldn't, because they'll run out of nodes. So they will travel around. They will explore. As long as the nodes don't respawn too quick. React channel when... Yeah, I don't know whether I mean, I kind of have done React content before. Right? Basically, if I do a trailer analysis, that's React content. By the way, I haven't actually watched the trailer. Is it any good? Has anyone seen it? Someone in the Discord said that it's full of comments about, like, oh, I didn't know there was a patch. Which is probably a good sign, right? It means that the trailer did something. Oh, it's bad. Is it really? It's pretty meh. Alright, well, compare it for me to a previous trailer. Is it Tower of Nightmares unfitting metal music bad? Or is it Long Live the Lich, Palawa Joko, Sinister, Prison good? Is it, I mean, what else have we got? Is it pre-release blog post, essentially just a bunch of vistas strung together? It's like a Living World Season 1 trailer. To be honest, I don't blame them for fucking about with the trailers and saying no. I really don't blame them. We're going to need to buy another lure from the Scorpion. I don't blame them. Because it's that thing. Guys, I really do agree with the decisions they've made here. Because fuck Living World, man. You know, let's think back for a second to the Palawa Joko trailer, right? For Long Live the Lich. That was a banging trailer. They clearly put a lot of work into that. There's a lot of editing, a lot of heart, a lot of care, understanding of the subject material and everything, right? It was a good trailer. And what value was it to the game? Because it was a part of living world. Like, it really kind of crushes me to think enthusiasm and excitement and expertise and emphasis was put on like such a fucking cul-de-sac. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel bad that someone passionately worked on a thing that was ultimately pointless. It makes me feel bad. And this new project, this new idea of mini X-Packs, that won't happen anymore. Yeah, cut the corners. Fuck the trailers for a release like this. I'm not going to ask someone to pour their heart and soul into a trailer for the Diablo Delve. If it looks shit, I'm alright with it. All it is it's a little signal, right? That's all it is. It's a little flare that goes up to let out-of-touch, fair-weather players know that something's happened. It's just a slightly fancier way of delivering a bit of news. You know, let's really analyse what that's there for. You know, do a big song and dance, but for the mini X-Packs. Or just X-Packs. Hopefully they just call them X-Packs. I wonder if they'll use that term. Do you think they'll call them just X-Packs? Just cheap X-Pack? X-Pack, but low price or whatever? Oh, fuck. Oh, I can't blame ArenaNet for this not working, to be fair. There we go. We got it. We got it. They can't time travel back to, like, 2011 when that bridge was built. Well, they could have moved... Yeah, moving it, I think, would have been a nightmare for, like, the data and stuff. It's like one of the dev's cousins ran around and took screenshots. Yeah, no, seriously, I'm fine with that, because I do think, like... Especially the Diablo Delve. Especially if they know it's a weaker patch and a shorter patch, blah, 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 blah. The only bit that they're missing is, you know...
Weakness makes me sick.
They weren't honest in the blog post about it. If that blog post had just said... You're right, guys. We've had a bit of scramble on this one, boys. It's a bit low. Let's just relax for a moment. It's an okay patch, but just set your expectations a little low. You know, we haven't worked that hard on a trailer for it and stuff. It's just a taster of things to come. It sets us up some ideas. Have fun. And we'll be expanding it soon. If they had said that, I think it all would have been all right. I do want to kind of watch the trailer now and see what you guys are talking about, though. They need to rename fractals to dungeons and structure raids. Yeah, I've been thinking that for a long time. I think, though, my opinion's changed a little bit lately, now that I've been raiding a lot. Like, I was doing Doom CM yesterday, guys. Just on a whim. I just went to LFG, and I saw that some people were doing a full CM run, a training full CM run of... I'm not letting you cast that. Of Wing 5, and I was like, alright, fuck it. And I just played it. And I've been doing a lot of just random raiding and stuff. And I kind of think, you know, okay, so for a long time, I was thinking that that they should split all the raids into individual fights and make it all under the strike system. But I kind of don't agree with that anymore. I think that's a bunch of effort for no reason. I think raids are doing fine as they are. The wings are fine. I think what they just need to do is rename the strikes to raids and have them all proc from the aerodrome. And put it all in the same area of LFG. I think that's all they really need to do. LFG is a big thing, actually. Most of these conversations about this kind of stuff, actually, they all just loop back to LFG. And dungeons as well. I've been a big proponent of this idea of splitting the dungeons into fractals. Each dungeon, you know how, like, some fractals have, like, variations in their paths. You know, like the Ascalon fractal, you go left or you go right or whatever. I can imagine reworked, like, Ascalon catacombs. It's all one fractal. Or, like, think about dolphins, you know? You either get the dark path or the dolphin path, yeah? The crate fractal, you either get the dark path or the dolphins. I can imagine Ascalon catacombs working as a fractal, where each of the three paths essentially is just a different variation, depending on the week or whatever. I think that could work. And I know some people will cry foul with that and say, oh, but you're going to lose content or whatever. It would be a reimagined AC, I think, because it would be shorter, first of all. But you got to look at the dungeons as well. A lot of those dungeon paths are not that different. Like, in Ascalon Catacombs, two of the bosses are the same boss at the end. It's the same boss, just with a different name. Fought in the exact same area. When you look at something like COE, it's all subject alpha all the time. You know, with just differing rooms. And, like, the first half of every path is always identical, you know. And the first, like, 2/3 of two of the paths are very, very similar. By the way, yeah, I did Doom CM the other day, and I did a dungeon train the other day. I don't know. I think there's still some reason to move the dungeons into fractals, and then just call it all dungeons. That would be really good. I think that's a really good move. So essentially, what I'm proposing here is 8 new fractals, one themed around each dungeon. And I'm not talking about literally taking the dungeons. I'm saying fuck all that spaghetti code. Rip it, make new fractals, but themed after the previous 8 dungeons. And re-inherit as many of the assets as you can. The models, the art, the rooms, the ideas behind the encounters. And I think that could work. They can leave the old iterations of the dungeons in the game for posterity as well. There's no reason to delete the old ones. But, you know, there's just no incentive to play them. They're a tourist attraction, so to speak. They're just for people who want that old thing. And, you know, and also, they don't have to do anything with a story edition. Story editions don't become fractals. They just go straight into the story journal. I think that change would be huge for the game. And also, and I mentioned this in Spud the other day, do you know what the best thing about this proposal is? The best thing, it's that the last fractal they add, the Ara fractal. I got to go get a new lure now. The last one that they add... can be what am I saying? The last fractal they add can be Ara, and they can put that as the new 100, and the CM can be like a sorrowful spellcaster type experience. Just the whole thing is a big fat boss with really cool animations and stuff. It's Ara, but it's Giganticus Lupicus. So Loopy comes back. Loopy is a proper boss in a 5-man environment. There's a chance to rework Loopy. Well, I don't even want to use the word rework. I'm proposing a new thing here, really. And I think that would be very cool. And again, I think very, very importantly, if they're going to just make new fractals, but they're just themed like the dungeons, I really wouldn't want them to delete them. You know, in Season 1, when they got rid of the Aether Path, and they overwrote another path, the Spider Path, I think that sucks. I don't want to see shit get overwritten. Overwriting stuff is lame. You may as well leave the old spaghetti dungeons in, you know? Just take away some of the incentives to do it, maybe, or whatever, you know, so that it doesn't become a migraine later. I don't know, they kind of had a shitstorm when they did that with Heart of Thorns. But anyway, I really like that idea. That's a good idea. I think the whole raiding thing, breaking all the raids into individual fights, nah, fuck it. Just leave them as wings. Just leave them as whole wings. And there doesn't need to be some big categorical distinction between a raid which is a single fight and a raid which is 3 fights in a row, you know? There doesn't necessarily have to be.
Something.
I mean, ultimately, it all becomes a bit arbitrary eventually. I mean, how low are we assuming the intellect of the average player is? It all becomes a bit arbitrary. It really does just come down to the LFG categories. And it's not too hard right now to just flick between these and see what you want to play. This is what I was doing yesterday. I was like, I don't want to do these. I did a Minister Lee CM just on the random. I did a bunch of wings just on the random. What I really want, I'll give you guys a serious thing here. I was talking to a friend about this yesterday. And I'm deadly serious about this. Fuck kill proofs. I fucking hate all the kill proof shit. I actually have a sick, perverse little pleasure that I have. I join groups that ask for KP, and I deliberately sit there not spamming pinging my AP. I deliberately make life hard for people. I don't run the arc add-on. I don't say anything. I mean, if I'm sitting there with, you know, 45k AP and the Voidwalker title on, and I've clearly said what role I'm playing, and it's obvious, you know, there's every reason to believe I'll do fine with it. You know, if I come in and I say, oh, I'm gonna... You know, if they ask for... Like, when I did that Minister Lee the other day, I joined and said, yeah, I'll do ham plus the sniper kite or whatever. Clearly, I know the content or whatever. Now, if I get kicked, that's fine. That's their prerogative. They can do that. That's not a problem, and I'm not whining about that. That people are totally at liberty to do that. But it really aggravates me how much, like, what a wall there is for new players at the moment in terms of, like, all this extra jargon and just bullshit that they have to learn and all these walls that the community's erected around them. Fuck kill proofs. If I could, I would have them attack kill proofs every way they can. Rip them out of the APIs as much as possible. Just try... And ArenaNet have tried in the past. You've seen clearly they've done lots of updates where they've tried to attack kill proof culture. Just dismantle the whole thing. However, right? As much as I loathe all the kill proof stuff, I do understand why people do it, okay? I do understand people... They don't want complete noobs and idiots in their groups, right? So this is the compromise I propose. Kill proof. I would attack everything about kill proofs, but I think that DPS add-ons and stuff should be wholly endorsed by the game at this point. My view on it is this. Anyone should be able to get in the group, but their performance should be allowed to be measured. If you're going to kick someone for not performing or doing badly, then at least give them the chance to demonstrate that. If they go in and they're on a DPS roll and they do 2k damage or whatever, you know, if they're not doing anything, if they're failing the mechanic that they've been brought into the group for, whatever, if they're a drag, if they're bad at it, if they're demonstrated in the fight to not do well, yeah, kick them. I mean, I don't think that that's toxic at all, and I really don't care about anyone that ever cries about getting kicked. That's fine, but people should be allowed to get in the fucking group. New players should be able to open LFG and understand what the fuck they're reading. There shouldn't be just thousands of acronyms and like crazy numbers and things that they just absolutely have no comprehension for. Someone should be allowed to read a wiki page, watch a YouTube video, gear a character, and get into a group. And if they can play, and if players can at least easily measure each other's performance in game, then that's the utopian way of doing it to me. People should be given the chance. What's happening right now is because add-ons are not a formal, because DPS measuring and stuff is not a formal part of the game, most noobs have no clue about that, they are genuinely bad. So the only thing that teams can do right now is throw up kill proofs, you know? Like, that's a necessary barrier right now. It's something that if you're running a group, you're going to feel like you have to do, because, you know, this other side of the game isn't supported well enough. So yeah, and we're kind of half in, half out anyway right now. Half of us run Arc, half people don't. So fuck it, I would just fully endorse it, and I would just say, no, this is a part of the game now. And I really don't buy any argument of people saying, oh, but it's toxic if I can be measured and stuff. You know, it's a group environment. When you're in group play, there is such a thing as like respecting everyone else's time. You should want to perform well just to not be a prick that's, you know, completely disrespectful of everyone else's experience, you know. That's why you should seek to do well in a team. It's a team, you know, you put a bit of effort in. So, yeah, I have no problem with people getting kicked or being excluded from groups, but they should be given a chance to try. So that's what I would do. I would kill KP, kill proofs as much as possible, and to a certain extent, that will take a long time now, because with like the Arc add-on and stuff, there are people who demonstrably have in the past done well and whatever. But it's just ridiculous. Like, you see like fucking groups asking for 250 LI to beat the Shiver Peaks Pass Ice Golem. Like, fuck off. Do you know what I do? When I command raids, I literally just type chill wing 1, and I'll sort out the alacrity and I'll sort out the quickness and heals, and that's it. And you can beat half the shit, especially wings 1 through 4. Obviously, it is a little bit different when you get later, but you know, this whole thing where you hold on to the guild hall decorations to ping and stuff, like, I really hate it. I really hate it. It's awful. And I would rather ArenaNet take some serious active look at it. If they're going to put content like HTCM in the game, therefore suggesting they care about all this stuff, then it's time to, you know, really establish the fundamentals. And that's what I think they should be. I know a lot of people as well, they'll ask for kill proof, but then they won't actually check at all. They don't actually care. That it's just to scare people off. And even that annoys me. Not the person doing it. The system annoys me. The situation we're in annoys me. You know. And I think it can be a better. I think we can be in a better setup. You know, because there is no matchmaker in this game. And I think that would be too difficult to do. Guild 2 instance content is not very approachable to new players for sure. Yeah, it's impossibly unapproachable. You need a friend to teach you about it. You need a friend. If you're a genuine, like... I mean, the thing is, I don't know whether I'm really making a good argument here, because I might not be. I mean, what's wrong with an MMO being a game where a casual comes in, finds a guild, talks to people, and then the people teach each other about all the bullshit they have to learn to read and understand LFG. I mean, clearly the system is self-perpetuating to an extent. I don't know. I think it is an inhibitor of new players and stuff, though. I think it can be better. So. Used to ask for bananas in LFG. Yeah, I love the groups like that, where they're like ping boots, ping bananas, ping whatever. I think that's fine. What I used to do as well, before End of Dragons came out, before my big break from this game, and I was doing like the really easy Icebrood Saga strikes, I would join their killproof groups and I would ping into chat just like obscene stuff, like what did I used to ping? I used to ping like 250 like Doom thrones or stuff like that. Just like shit you would never actually have. But I would always keep it just on the line where it's like if you're not very smart, you might think it's possible. I don't know. I'm just very boisterous and I'm a bit of a prick, really. And I just kind of think, you know, like, I think people don't really know what they're talking about. You know, they'll say, oh, you know, for example, someone could join Fractal 100 CM, repping the Dances with Demons title, but they're not pinging the right items, so they get kicked. I mean, that's a terrible example because people specifically look for that title. But you get what I mean? It's that kind of thing. It's like there's a lot of indicators here that this person will be able to clear it, but because they're not pinging your little kill proof. So I'd go the other way, you know, I do stuff that seems to be right, but if you understand the game, it's definitely not right. It's like you wouldn't ever have that. I can't remember what I used to do. It was shit like 250 queen bees or stuff, but that's more of a wealth indicator. There was something else. I can't remember. But yeah, I had an old notepad. It's probably still on my PC somewhere. I called it Troll KPs. And it would often work as well. It would often work. Ping the Flask of Tears? Sorry, what's the Flask of Tears? We got a river fish over here. That's why you like maining support. Whether that's Druid or Heal Tempest, Scrapper, Max Scourge, I don't have to worry about Arc DPS numbers as much. I genuinely think it's really fun, you know. I think there's too much ego. Most people are scared of Arc. It's all ego, you know. Like, if I ever see someone's not performing that well, my immediate impression is that it's a matter of the build, not the player necessarily, you know. I mean, definitely there's huge variance in how the players can execute builds, don't get me wrong. But I like to pretend. And when you're playing with good people, and you can always feel it, it is always that thing of, okay, well, this build's clearly performing a bit better because it has more ranged access, it has more of this. You know, its burst is lining up with CCs in the right place or whatever. You know, it's not an ego thing, it's just a fun little analysis of what's going on. I don't know. I really like the tool. I really do. Like, here's another fun example. I did, like, Icebrood Saga 5 a few days ago. And, or was it yesterday? And I have, on my arc, I have damage taken on as well. And damage taken is fascinating to look at. Really cool. Especially in fractals. You can always tell good fractal players because their damage taken is so much lower. But we did Whisper of Jormag. And like most of the squad, including myself, we're all, at the end of the fight, we're all on like 100,000, 200,000 damage taken across the fight. And lots and lots and lots of damage taken. But there was one guy, and he'd only taken like 10k damage the whole fight. He'd taken like 10k. And he was on a mech. He might have been a ham, which means, you know, he's got a little bit more sustain on there, you know, damage reduction. But through, for example, if he's givers, he would have had toughness on there. But still, it was just like such an obscenely low amount. I was like, wow, this guy clearly knows the fight very, very carefully. Another one was on Coden Brothers. We did Coden Brothers, that same group. And we didn't do anything special. We just killed one and then killed the other. You know, when one Coden's alive and he's got the hammer attack and he's spamming the quarter attacks across the arena and he's just spinning like a clock. And I was really proud of myself there because I got my positioning really good, you know, because you kind of have to go very much in advance. You basically have to walk out into the red, the danger zone. But it's not actually a danger zone. It's kind of tricky. And yeah, you know, everyone was just getting battered and taking loads of damage, and I basically didn't get hit in the phase at all. And, you know, there's nice little things that you can see on Arc with stuff like that, you know. Obviously, there's Defiance contribution is a really good one as well. Almost impossible to see otherwise. I like the tool, and I think that it should just be a part of the game, or something like it should just be a part of the game. Ironically, I don't think ArenaNet could make anything that looks as pretty as what we ourselves can customize, you know. I think this looks really good, what I've got, according to my tastes. I can't imagine them putting this much work in. But I don't know. I kind of got off the point here. I'm not quite sure what I'm talking about anymore. Not everyone's tryharding. Yeah, that's the thing as well. Oh, and I have reses as well on. And you can always see that as well, like... Like, I tend to be very selfish myself. I don't res unless I really have to a lot of the time. I like using tools for res. One of my favourite builds to play at the moment is Spellbreaker, specifically because I run War Banner on it, and it is really, really nice to banner people. You know, you go do Su-1, like me and Valen did Su-1 yesterday, like having banner for when everyone gets hit by that massive attack. Like, it feels good. I like doing that. I don't like manually pressing F and resing, so I tend to avoid it if I don't have a tool for it. But, you know, you can set Arc up to see that, and it's like, oh, well, that guy's not doing much damage, but look, he was rezzing, at least. Honestly, you hate the brown UI? Yeah, I think it's really ugly, too. I really do. I don't like it either. I get there's the whole painting thing going on, but I think when I play other games and I see how clean their UI is, I'm like, oh, this looks nice. This feels good.
Not worth the effort.
But then again, even though I sort of don't like it, I don't think it's that important to change. I mean, it's a huge part of what fundamentally makes Guild Wars look like Guild Wars, so you might say it should be changed if it's inadequate. But also, you know, it's a part of its brand and its appearance now. There'd be a bunch of time and money developing something that might be good. That tends to not be a good idea. You want to spend a bunch of time and money on things that almost certainly will be good. There we go. I actually lost my fishing buff there, but I can reclaim it from these guys. We're at 38. Good job, everybody. Now let's see. What were we doing? We're going to... Oh yeah, we're going to the Arca Lake and then off into Lake Doric. That's the idea. So it's night time now. So what are we still missing? So if we use fish eggs... Oh, okay. So I do need fish eggs for one of these. We should have bought it from the lobster. Alright, fuck it. BRB. I'm going to go get the fish eggs. Because we can aim for that now. How many times have I come back here for different baits? Honestly, UI in Guild Wars 2 is better than WoW and FF14. Yeah, no. Let me be clear. The UI is stellar. The UI is really good. It's much cleaner than competing MMOs. MMOs that give you a lot more customization. It's just so ugly. You know, if you watch my FF14 content when I go back to the game, or if you just go to WP2 and just watch all those videos and things I did, you'll see I talk about the UI all the time in there, and I really tried to make that game's UI look immersive yet functional. But, you know, most MMO players, they don't think like that. They just want it to be functional. They don't give a fuck about immersive at a certain point.
Which crates are your crew planning on sneaking off with today?
Well, I'm probably unfairly categorizing too many people there. But, you know, a lot of the time when you look at, like, high-end gameplay, it just looks disgusting. And that was true in WoW as well. I think Guild Wars has actually done something really good, not going crazy with the customization. What I'm saying that I don't like about the UI is not its structure, is not its ideas and impulses, it's its theme. Specifically, like, the backing, the colours, the, like, grimy, rusted paint appearance, you know. That's what I'm talking about. Which is a fairly small part in the full story of the UI, don't get me wrong. I mean, some of the UI start to look a bit messy. I don't like the new square that they added down here. It looks a bit sloppily done. Alright, so what we're going to do now is equip... Oh, we already did equip the fish eggs. Nice. So we're looking for a new fish right there with the fish eggs. And we've still got plenty more time left on our food, our ascended food. This has been quite pleasant. I'm always surprised, you know. I've been doing this for so many years. And I always feel like, oh, what am I going to talk about if I do that kind of video? There we go, we got it instantly. And I always end up talking the way through. Alright, I messed that up. That goes like that, and that goes like that. Well, apparently, at one point, we got a Kryta puffer. That was on the coast at night. It wasn't on this fishing trip. But apparently, we got a Kryta puffer. So, we're actually, unfortunately, still looking for all 3 legendaries, which is rough. actually. I didn't expect it would be like that. But it says here, lake fish, river fish at night time with minnows. So we should go back to Minnows now. This guy looks rough. Because nighttime's only just started, really. So any lake or river nodes, basically, from now on, and we basically just don't want to go to the coast. We'll get these two from that, and then we can go to the coast for the black lionfish.
And kill anything that moves.
And then the three on the left are just, you know, just open water, which I've been forgetting to do. Let's change our outfit again here. So this is my white mage look. There's not much to say here. I'm not sure I really like the cape all that much. This is a pure magi healer for like meta events. If I just want to like really relax during a meta, mass reses with the threes, that's all this is. There's no alacrity on this, it's just pure raw healing. This is the kind of thing I'd run in a dragon stand or to Quattle. That kind of thing. What add-ons do I use now? All I have on is Arc, that is all. But I'm really close to doing a new Blishard installation, because Blishard has come a long way. I mean, do take me seriously when I say that. If you guys haven't looked into Blishard, go to Google right now, type Blishard, just look at their website and the kind of add-ons they have. It's come a really long way. And I think it has Arc integration as well, where like they're made for each other, or you know, the Arc UI is fully integrated into the Blish UI, and the Blish UI looks just like the Guild Wars UI. So it's kind of like having Arc in Guild Wars UI, which is very cool. As far as I know, I don't know for sure. We're at tier 4 now, which is pretty good. Another queenfish. I'm assuming there's river fish in Lake Doric. And I'm assuming it's not its own thing. Being a part of Season 3, they might have categorized it elsewhere. I do have a little bit of anxiety now, because it's like, we got to get this before the sun rises, but, you know. Blishard is so good, but you don't know if Arc DPS is accessible through it. Are you sure? I swear I read something about how the two of them work together. I'm going to be considerate here and go ahead, so that everyone else has a bit more space. By the way, if you guys are going to become true fishing enthusiasts, the right way to do this is to skimmer from spot to spot. If you're quick, you won't lose your contribution stacks. But you just need to be clear with your hotkeys what you want to do. But when you look at the people who really know life the fishing, there's a moonfin. When you look at people who really know life the fishing, you'll see they're very, very good at just getting on a springer and just rushing on. Oh, here we go. Add-ons can access data from Arc, but there's no full Arc UI add-on for Blish yet. Oh, okay, so if they can access the data, it just would mean someone needs to build the front end, so to speak, right? Is that the idea? But no one's done it. Oh, there you go. Our Barley says you do have access to it with Blish. You're using it right now. Well, whatever. I mean, it sounds cool. And they've got all the other stuff. They've got, like, lore stuff on there as well. They've got... do you guys remember that thing where you can, like, write your own quests in the game? You can write your own points of interest and flavor information and stuff like that. And I know that all seems a bit... I don't know, a bit whatever. But, you know... I really love the idea of doing... I was thinking about this the other day. You know, we've been talking so much about how there should be more story with Guild Wars. Just more story fixes all these problems. More story makes Ritlock caring about his kid matter more. More story makes Yao work as a character more. More story makes Marjorie and Casimir's relationship something easier to get invested in. More story means that we understand Chol Mu more. But more. You know, that's the point. And I've been saying, you know, just voice-acted dialogue. It did occur to me the other day that Blishard add-on, you could just do it through that. The community could do it. You could write a fan fiction where all you do is every time someone's in a personal story step, or, you know, not a personal, just a story step, you give the NPCs more dialogue. But, I mean, it does. A project like that is kind of wanky because it wouldn't be from the studio. It wouldn't be real. I mean, you could fix it up. I often think stuff like that now. You know, last Christmas when I reread through all the Harry Potter books, I was constantly thinking, man, you could do like an extended edition of this book where in this chapter there's this detail, where in this, and you know, this builds to this thing a little bit better here, this builds to this thing. You know, I was thinking, man, you could do that. And when I was doing my big Pokemon watch through, I was thinking, oh, you know, you could reconfigure this, you could tweak this, you could just constantly thinking, but no one gives a fuck about fan fictions. that's what always comes and cripples me in the end. Let's go have a look up there, because why not? It's actually near the entrance of a jumping puzzle. Alessia's nice for farms and jumping puzzles. It's crazy. Yeah, I suppose it probably is, yeah. I'm aware that people use it in raids and stuff too, don't they? I mean, I've never quite gone that far. I must be honest, I kind of got a bit of ego about that. I kind of sort of think to myself, oh, I'm not going to rely on that. I'm going to actually learn the fight, you know. But, you know, they'll tell you what mechanics coming and where to stand and shit like that, Final Fantasy style. I forget exactly what we're fishing for right now. We need to do 2 more in the open water. Open water, open water. Any. Lakes at night, anytime. River at night with minnows. That's what we're going for, a legendary, basically. Yeah. Yeah, this is all correct. Just got to get a little bit lucky. I kind of don't want to leave the map because we're going to lose our thing. I'm surprised, actually. In the Crystal Desert, I would have had multiple legendaries by now. The raid assist helps a lot to learn about the mechanics. Yeah, I'm sure that's true. It's like a starting thing. Maybe that's a really good idea. I'm amazed how much I forgot about it over the past couple of years, really. Some fights, I've forgotten so much. There we go. We got a slaughterfish. I actually know about slaughterfish from Elder Scrolls. That's funny. So the slaughterfish was a lake with a minnow at night. So now we need a river at night. Oh, but the quagmire eel also. So both of them have still got stuff for us, so it's fine. Oh, just about got on there before the eel broke our boat. I never quite can tell if depth charges are a good idea to use or not. Good thing we came up here, right? Where I really want to fish, guys, is like in ore and stuff. I'm actually going to clear this out. Oh, I'm on a healing build though. This is annoying. And then get back on. There we go. I really want to see what kind of fish that they give us in ore. And Draconis is the really hard map, so I'm kind of interested in like lava fish and stuff. I think that's a fun thought. I don't know. I think the big thing that I'm upset about with this system is there's not really progression to it. Do you know what I mean? Like, you can just get all the fishing power you need straight away, and then all the maps are basically the same. I would have much rather it if, through beating Kryta, you gained access to 100 more fishing power somehow. You know, some new gear was available, rare fishing rods were available because you did Kryta and Ascalon. And now that you have a rare rod, you have enough fishing power to make, you know, the Maguma jungle slightly better with all the dinosaur-y fish or whatever. And then, you know, I would have rathered a progression system on it. I like progression, and Guild Wars just seems allergic to it. So all they do is they spam you with fucking tons of fishing power in your first couple of hours of End of Dragons, and that's it. Then just wander around the world, and there's no like structure to it anymore. There's no sense of, oh cool, I've earned this, let's keep going. I think that would have been such an obvious thing to do. And then, you know, if you end up in Ore and Draconis Mons, that's cool. Also, the whole thing of like fish being difficult to catch, like let the player choose how far out of their depth they want to go. You know, there's interesting gameplay, there's decision making and stuff there that the players could make, and it's just all lost. Not all progression is the enemy. I think I have a question on one of my videos at the moment, which is like, WP, how do you feel about the current implementation of leveling and progression in MMOs? And I think I actually have a lot of thoughts on that, because I think most of them are really bad. They've all forgotten like what's cool about that stuff in RPGs. What's this? The last Preach video. This is that guy, WoW player, playing the game. Everyone's obsessed with him, right? It was very interesting, especially the things that... Oh god, I can't catch this fish while reading that. Hold on. Right, especially the things that he mentions about the WoW content, which seems to be what ArenaNet is pursuing now. I don't know what any of that means. WP, I don't know if anyone said this or not, but save some of the certain legendary fish so you can give them to the Siege Cell hatchling for your home instance. Wait. What? Say that again? Is there a whole thing I don't know about? Okay, I need to put on a better build, because we have to deal with this fucking shark. He's in Vuln. We got to get in the water. We got to get in there. We got to swim in the fishes. And remember our amazing underwater. I'm gonna ult to get the break bar down. Can I just sit here? What is this pulse? 2k, 2k, 2k. I don't mind that I'm about to lose my stacks, because someone up there might still have them. I can't believe how long that elite went on for. But also, oh fuck. No, that was not me that pressed the button there. That was, we just got warped onto that. But also, we're about to leave the map anyway. Yeah, 17 stacks. Damn. Someone's sitting here with only 17. We had 40. If you complete a strange diet, you can get a turtle pet in your home instance under the Dragon's End achievement category. Well, let's just type that in. No, I do not have a strange diet. Are you serious? Oh wow, I didn't know that. That's very cool. Yeah, I've seen that actually in Dragon's End. I've seen, because there's a couple of achievements I still need, see? And the thing is, whenever I go over to that turtle area, the event that's there is really annoying. So wait, I just feed it... He wants an unholy mackerel. And a slaughterfish. So this is ascended stuff as well, right? Alright, I'm going to get on the boat. Sorry if I vacuum people. You going to go make some lunch? Yeah, have a nice lunch, man. Oh, I keep forgetting to do the open water. Well, here we go. By the way, that guy, this is the original Skiff. This actually, there is a proper boat that moves. They should do this as a Skiff skin. Because this is the OG Skiff in the game. The original moving boat, which was like fascinating at the time. And now look at how far we've come, guys. I remember being so amazed by that they had like this cool thing where a guy actually sails around on a boat and then he goes back in. And the other side of that didn't even exist as a map yet. Alright, we're going to separate the man from the boys here, because who knows how many players with me right now have actually been to Lake Doric on these characters. Surge, fishing enjoyer reporting in. Welcome, welcome. Are you the Surge that I know, or are you another Surge? We just got to get back up to the river here. Oh, I tell you what, there was an NPC. Oh, I should have done it. There's an NPC. Oh, I think it's that fisher, literally. That guy I think you can speak to. Does this speed us up on the skimmer as well, by the way? I think you literally can speak to him and he will take you through. Oh, I missed a fun opportunity there. Anyway, this is not deep enough, apparently. Oh, in fact, Lake Doric's got no water in it. It was drained away. Is there any fishing in Lake Doric? I didn't even think about that. The new Viking ship is amazing. Yeah, actually, to be honest, I think that the Skiff skins are all really good. I do like them a lot. And, you know, this is where ArenaNet should be savvy. If they want to earn lots of money... Like, I notice how much they... they went crazy with like the gem store this patch. If they want to be like money making, they need to make sure fishing is like a properly focused on feature, and big fishing trains and fishing parties and stuff, because that will get people to buy skiffs more than anything else. You being in a big like Zerg with a bunch of different boats around and seeing an amazing boat and you're in a shitty little one, that's incentive for people. If no one ever fishes or does anything, then they're just not going to care. They're not going to know, and they're not going to care. Make a large skiff skin. Well, I quite like how they are all different sizes, aren't they? Some of them are huge, and some of them are smaller. Like this one's quite wide, I would say. Okay, we got the quagmire eel. Okay, what that means is we no longer need to go to any lakes, I believe.
Ooh, quagging is great fun.
That quagging sounded like a wolf. River, coast, any. Yeah, so no more lake fish for me. And in particular, we do want to get, before the sun rises, a mud skate from a river. So I'm going to just get moving here. Let's see, based on the maps, they're going to count as lakes, aren't they, really? The quagging sounds like timey, does it? Yeah, this is all too shallow anyway. Well, that's fine. So then we're going to come up to this dam, and let's pretend we're going through the dam. And finally, we are going to reach the map that the thumbnail was referring to. I wanted to start in Kryta. I almost started this one in Ascalon. I love the sunken ship there. I almost started this episode in Ascalon, because to me that's like the beginning, if you will. But it's got to be Queensdale, hasn't it? It's got to be Kryta. That's where all the nostalgia truly is. Right, let's go north. So I assume this is a lake because it says it's a lake. It's funny that to me that actually feels a bit more like a river.
I don't know about divine tests, but I'd say
it's weird. The phrase lake is interesting here because again, you got to remember the in-game stuff we're exploring and playing is only a representation of the lore. You know, if you actually think of Lake Delavan as a full-on lake, not a pond. It's basically a pond. Let's be real. It's not a pond. It's a lake. It's so far that there's a whole ecosystem in there. You know, you might not even see the other shoreline from one side. You get like a really cool sense of how big Kryta truly is. But now with the mounts, with the skiffs, with everything, it's kind of shocking, really. I wonder how long I've got before the sun comes up. I would love if on the UI it said that on the bottom right. After it said night, it had like a countdown to day or something, or the next cycle. So that's a lake fish as well. Bullshit, really? This is like an OG fisher, by the way. That's not new. That's like old as anything. Really good place to put a thing. But they put a lake thing. That should be a river. You can turn on Tyrian time. Yeah, I guess. So it would just be like 7 AM or whatever, right? Tyrian time. So we're 2 AM. So we got plenty of time, actually. That's good. Lake again? How is that a lake? What the hell do they consider to be a... I'm sorry, by the way, our train, it's almost impossible to follow me here now. I need to find what they consider to be a river. Oh my god, Ascalon fishing is painful. There is a legendary dusk and dawn fish. Wow, well, smack my ass. I said earlier that there was no such thing as that. Is there really? This is all too shallow to be rivers. Even though it's filled with river drakes. This has got to be river. But that's all shallow as well, isn't it? Oh, Queensdale, you're letting me down. Blish has fishing buddy integration? Oh, well, I'm not surprised. What does that do, exactly? I've noticed, by the way, I don't know if you guys have seen this. What I'm about to say is probably been there for ages and ages and ages and ages and ages. I've noticed that the wiki has API integration now. Like, you can put your API into the wiki, and you know how in-game it will highlight or grey out stuff you own, like collections that you've done and whatever? I can't believe it. We can't even fish here. Oh, there's a river fish. Haha. So you can do that on the wiki. That's pretty cool. Like, I only just like looked at it recently and thought, what is that I'm looking at? Why? Because I always, whenever I see something that looks a bit technical or, you know, a bit, like, I'll just gloss past it. Because, you know, when you're on the wiki, you're looking for specific information. You have something else on your mind already. And I don't know how long I've been glossing over that, but, yeah. Right, well, we got no stacks, so this might take a bit to get this legendary. Hopefully not, though. Since I could not drink my coffee, I've just glugged some juice. Some squash. I like how that Drake isn't hostile. He came out looking a bit sinister there, but no. They know their place. Fishing isn't hard, it's boring. Something you haven't touched since a year ago when End of Dragons first came out. Something you'll probably never touch again. Well, I mean, I don't know what you're whinging about there, really. What were you expecting? It's fishing. It's not an extreme sport. It was never trying to be, you know, an action bullet hell experience where you were a master of your own dexterity. I mean, what games even do that? You know, the point is, it's slow, it's measured, it's meditative. It's basically a variety of grind. It's a package on grind. And I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with that. It's not particularly instructive to say fishing is boring. I mean, that's kind of a part of it, isn't it? They have a description somewhere in game where they're like, after when you get cod walking amongst minnows or something, it says something like, you've discovered that it was the fishing you enjoyed all along, not the pursuit of the fish. Or it was the pursuit, or I can't remember what they say. Is harpoon fishing in FF like really intense, is it? That's that like ocean fishing feature, isn't it? That's a good example of the amount of features and breadth that's in that game. You know, when I look at that game and I think about like all the different things that they've got, and just how they seem to have had time to just do so much. That's a really good example. It's like, no, they don't just have fishing, you know, with like 90 levels of progression and blah, 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 blah. But no, they have another variety of fishing as well, where you go out in the ocean on a boat and stuff. And it's like a totally different feature. It's like, where is all this stuff coming from? It's just like every patch just seems to have so much just extra stuff in it. It's not that complicated. You press a space bar when the fish crosses the line. Oh, I imagine it, yeah, probably is quite basic. A bit like some of the gold saucer stuff, you know. Do we really credit as an amazing feature the fact you can get on a roller coaster and shoot some targets? No, I don't want no moonfish. It's now 3 o'clock. Oh god, the fact that that hour passed so fast is actually a little bit scary to me. Okay, I assume there's rivers here, river fish here. Please. All the rivers are too shallow. I can imagine an ArenaNet designer coming along trying to place river fish and realizing that everywhere here is just, they're just puddles. And feeling the same frustration that I now am. This is crazy. I do love this map though. It's a shame we're doing it at night. Everywhere looks better in the day. And they're going to be lake now. Ah, there's a river fish. Nice. Hello, Duran. Scale drakes, can't help but feel nervous being out here. You watch out too, there's a monster down there. I'm not afraid of a big fish. Near some Guild Wars 1 style waterfalls there with a very loud noise. 16 is coming later this year. You're mildly excited? Yeah, that's a good way of describing it for me as well. Mild excitement. The new Diablos this year as well. I might be playing that actually. A friend's asked me to play Diablo 3, which I never played before. I don't know if you guys have any opinions about that. But they asked me to play like a story playthrough of Diablo 3 just to sort of remember the game and get into the story a bit. And then, yeah, Diablo 4 afterwards. I really don't know anything about Diablo. Sort of all the Blizzard stuff passed me by. Never did StarCraft. The only thing I did was WoW Classic. As an adult, a couple of years ago. To sort of learn about MMOs. You've also been thinking about doing one, but maybe. You seem very much between games at the moment. If I played the Diablo 4 open beta, you'd watch. Why? I don't know. I don't know anything about that. Oh, maybe that's why, right? I guess because I'm a complete noob. Who is Diablo? Is there actually a? Is there a devil? Is there a Diablo? I don't even know. Is there? Here, okay, let me see. There's something about like a Soul Forge or something, isn't there? I actually did a video about Diablo once.
Excuse me, I'm trying to find
one of my frantic ideas to branch out many years ago when I did the Last of Us video, like I did the Crayon lore ideas, where basically I took popular franchises, learned about their lore, and then summed it up in a video. And I've forgotten everything I learned about that. Some of the games I then went to play later, like Last of Us, I went to play later. I was talking about that polluted lake fish. Oh, that's weird. Polluted? Is there going to be different fish coming out of that? We were talking about that because we were talking about, you know, like diversity, representation and stuff. And someone said, you know, there's a difficult thing with a character like Yao. You know, if you indulge in it too much, then you get accused of it, of that's their whole personality. If you only barely mention it and then don't do anything with it, like say the timey disability thing for years, you get accused of being tokenist. So how do you do it? And that's an interesting idea. And I mentioned in the comments, I said The Last of Us is quite interesting because in that game, there's a character you meet, a guy, like this doomsday prepper survivor guy. A bunch of story happens. I can't fully remember. I think he dies. You move on, you go on your way, and then later you realise one of the other characters you're with, I'm trying to keep it vague here a bit, like finds his porn mags. And they're like, ooh, and it's a gay porn mag. So you realise, oh, that character was gay. And that's it. Like, it has no impact on anything. It doesn't define their character. It's just, that was just a fact about this character, and they're not scared of saying that, and that's it. And I always really liked that in the game. And I remember that getting a lot of applause. But I suppose you can look at that as well and say, oh, is that tokenist? But then, obviously, the TV show's coming out at the moment. And in the TV show, they actually changed the story. And I guess... So they had the Ying there with the porn mag, with... You know, it's just a side note. It's just whatever. They went that side of the spectrum on that. And then in the TV show, they go the complete opposite way. They change the story. And you basically get a whole flashback episode about this guy's life. And it's entirely about... his gay relationship with someone else. Is about their, you know, and it's not scared to show sex. It's not scared to show intimacy. You know, it is really indulgent of the fact that he's gay. So they've gone one way with one format and the other way with the other format. There's no fish here. This is unbelievable, and we're running out of time. And you know, I thought that was interesting that they chose to do that. Polluted lake. Polluted lake. Is this a river? It's a thin body of water separating two large ones. Yeah, I think the next episode's coming out today, isn't it? Tomorrow, maybe? So far, I think it's been a good show. The most recent episode, I think, was based on a DLC that I didn't play. I'm a little worried that they're not going to get it. Yeah, there's no fucking rivers in this whole map. Oh, this is a river. Let's go there. Let's go to Delanian. Oh, dandelion? Wasn't there a dandelion fish we saw or something? Come on, river fish, river fish. I'm gonna circle around up here first. So I'm gonna be a bit spoilery about The Last of Us here now. So sorry, people. You'll skip ahead, turn off, whatever, if you really care. I don't actually think. I mean, you know my opinion. I don't really believe spoilers, to be honest. What I think I'm about to say, I think will get people interested in it. But what really captivated me about that story from the game, you know, it's from one perspective, it's just another zombie game. But, you know, this one is a bit heavier, it's a bit more realistic in the movement, in the combat, and all these kinds of things, you know. Its take on the world is slightly different. It has its novelties. But I think the really, really cool thing was, ultimately, it's not really about the setting. It's, like, to me, what I really loved about it, should I just describe the story? Hold on, we really need this fish. Let me, instead of prattling on, let's try and find a fucking river. Kessex has no river node. I just checked a site. Oh, okay, cool, thank you. Well, wow, we just basically finished. The last thing would be to check there. So there's no rivers in Kessex. And I doubt there's rivers there. So let's go back to... Was this a river? Does this count as a river? Let's go back to where we started, I guess. I don't think we need to go to the coast at night. By the way, if I miss this, we're not going to another... I think I am going to miss it now, actually. This has been brutal. Lake. Fucking hell. Oh, there you go. Recovery camp. Lots of river fish here. Okay, thank you. Cool. I will take advice from the people. Alright. And let's get fishing. Brilliant. Yeah, okay, alright. So in The Last of Us, you kind of have this story where it's a guy, he lost his daughter, he gets very cold to the world, and through circumstance he ends up travelling with another young girl and ends up sort of treating her like... He's very distant from her for a long time, but you watch them bond, and the whole way through the game you're like celebrating watching them bond. It feels good to see them coming together. Like, she fills that hole in his life. You know, and it's kind of like he gets a surrogate daughter and she gets a surrogate father, and, you know, it really is that family, father-daughter relationship you see come through, and they basically become family. And the whole time it's like a celebration of that. But that's kind of very banal, really. You see that story everywhere, you know. No one ever questions the power of familial love and the connection between people and the strength of that and how that makes us feel warm and feel good and blah, 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 blah. You know, that's kind of very tropey. That's... whatever. What was really cool about The Last of Us is at the end of the story, they kind of show I guess I won't say the big final thing, but the fact that he ends up caring about this girl so much, and he's a bit of a selfish prick, the protagonist kind of becomes like this terrible thing, like this really unbelievably terrible thing. And it deconstructs this idea of, is familial love always the right thing? Is, you know... Is it something we should never question? It's just this really, really cool, like, novel idea at the heart of that story, I think. And I don't know whether the TV show really understands that. I mean, that's what I took out of it. That's what I felt really invigorated by with that story and thought, holy shit, that's very new. That's very special and different as a story. And I don't know whether they'll actually go that far. I mean, you can kind of see how they're setting a lot of it up in the show right now. But, yeah, I don't know. And it's an especially good story to replay, and it's an especially good story to rewatch, because what you spend all of your time on the first run through celebrating and loving their connection, then becoming closer, you have another lens. The next time you go back through it, you kind of view it as tragic, you know, in a way. And yeah, I really, really like that about that story, and that's kind of what I view Naughty Dog as doing. So it's dawn now. I don't know if this counts. It's dawn. We've missed it, guys. We've missed it. We do not have the nighttime legendary fish, the mud skate from a river with freshwater minnows. Well, I'll tell you what, I'll still call this episode a victory, though. I still think it's okay. Because I'll just catch the one at the coast. And then, And then we're basically done. You know, you might not see the ding, but that's fine, right? The last fish. We might even save it for the next part. There you go. Anyway, there's the flounder. We'll get one more, the speckled perch. And then literally all we're looking for is the thing at the coast. Get a bunch of moonfish. Oh, we got some ancient ambergris there. And yeah, I've been kind of worried about that with the TV show the whole time. Because, you know, there's always that thing where it's like your interpretation of a story might not even be what they were going for or what everyone else sees. And therefore the emphasis might be totally different on a new iteration. You know, that's always the risk you run. I swear, why is this slot here, this final exotic, not filled? Because we've got one. It's a Krytan puffer.
Man your positions.
Oh no, it's from the coast, I remember.
Take back the camps.
Dawn has night. Dawn and day finished. Oh, dawn has night, dawn and day fish. Oh, so we technically could still get it. For the next 5 minutes, we could technically still get it. Alright, but the loot pool has been diluted, I suppose. It feels like God of War. Yes, it is very God of War-y. It is very God of War-y. Both massive PlayStation exclusives. Bond with your kid. What's that other story as well that I... There was some other game or something that I was watching and I was like, this is just like God of War. Oh, Hades. Yeah, Hades was just like God of War. It kind of has the whole mixed mythology thing. And again, it's a father-son story. God of War's father-son stories. Last of Us is a father-daughter story, essentially. Not technically, but essentially. Of course, didn't the new God of War come out now? I haven't actually played it. I don't know where they took the story in that. Did it come out already? I don't think it did. Or was it just that there was a trailer? Any river fish? There's another one. WP, I'm honestly a bit nervous. Yeah, if you guys have any questions for me, by the way, as well, feel free. I'm just prattling on here. I'll bounce off of anything. It doesn't have to be about anything. I'm honestly a bit nervous when they get to part 2 with the show. The second game is so brutal and so depressing all the time. I can imagine that getting exhausting on TV. Yeah, so I did a little bit more reading about the second game. It sounds really good. Because again, what I was just trying to say, I think I cut myself off, is like, I look at Naughty Dog as just, it was real storytellers. Like, no, let me go further than that. Artists. I think they're actually interested in new ideas, telling new kinds of stories, and trying to actually, like, push the media in some way. I see a lot of that in Uncharted 4 as well. Uncharted 4 really started attacking the format of an action-adventure. And it really started analysing the kind of character Nathan Drake is. It started doing real things. And it was very, very good for that. And so it's not surprising to me The Last of Us is from the same studio. The second game I read a bit about, and yeah, it seems to me... On the one hand, the story seems like a basic, you know, like Moby Dick story again. It's like TIL, vengeance is wrong, vengeance gets you nowhere. That's kind of the super text, but underneath it, it seems to be doing some more interesting shit, especially like as a video game. Like the way it's... I've never played it. I've only read about it. It sounds like there's some moments in it that are really, really captivating. Like... it will swap your perspective, and you're doing things from another perspective now that are like things you might not want to do. And it's like, it strikes me as a game that it seems angry with its own audience, you know, it like attacks its own audience. And I think there's something really cool about that. I really like that. I like them getting in people's faces and making a statement and stuff. It might be a bit too angsty for a lot of people, but I think there's something really good about doing it with Last of Us and doing it in a zombie setting as well, right? Because there's kind of this, like, fucking, like, simpleton, macho, brain-dead, guns blowing up brains, gore, lol, kind of, like, superficial audience member that might be intrigued by seeing a badass grizzled man with a gun walking through the post-apocalypse, and then they play a game where you know, they're kind of like really getting in people's faces about that, which I kind of like that, you know. I kind of like that they paired that setting with that. I think people there was a lot of controversy with that game as far as I can see, but my interpretation of it is that it is not a game people expected to play. People didn't expect to play a game where the story spat in their face for playing it. But, you know, that's the pursuit of storytelling. That's art. That's art. And it sounds good to me. I mean, you might think everything I'm saying here is just pretentious wankery. And I think that's fine as well. But it sounds good to me, and I kind of like that it was a bit aggro. And relentlessly grim as well. You know, the angry... Let me be clear. It's kind of like saying, oh, you will think that a post-apocalyptic zombie setting is cool. Well, let me show you how fucking miserable it really is. You know, it's like... There's something nice about that. This is a good place to fish. I love the lights here. You had mixed feelings, but it's a good game. Anyway, that's just what I've got from reading about it. It might also just be a terrible game, and I will always leave room for that. It might have just had an awful implementation of its ideas. It might have not earned any of the things it was trying to say. I think that's true too. I think I read some review about that seemed very honest about it. About like, I don't know. We should probably move on because I'm being too vague. I haven't played the fucking thing. It had some weird plot holes and strange character motivations. They're going to retcon a lot. Yeah, I believe there's a decision made by Ellie at the end that doesn't feel very justified, right? It feels like it kind of comes out of nowhere. But then on the other hand, without talking about the actual story, this is just nonsense. I hate it when I watch podcasts and videos where people do this, where they just talk in circles without being clear. Most of the reviews you watch of it was that the game overstayed its welcome. I mean, that's a pretty valid criticism, right? I think a lot of games end up doing that. And I think I read a bit. That guy just recast. I'm sorry to the other guy, but you were both at the perfect wrong time, so. Alright, it says it's day now. Okay, so, now that it's day, there's nothing for us here. What we're going to do is we're going to go to the coast of Lion's Arch with shrimplings. And we're going to fish until we get our legendary. And we're going to do a couple of open waters for the thing. So, Sanctum Harbor. Sorry, I just interrupted you guys fishing and then just disappeared. The game you next want to get into is OT2. What's OT2? It is out Ragnarok. Okay, yeah, I thought it was. I thought something big happened with Ragnarok, but I couldn't remember if it was the trailer and the reveal of what Thor looks like, or it was just that the game came out. How bad is that? Oh, Octopath Traveler. Oh, yeah. Isn't that like essentially a JRPG with a kind of unique art style? Man, I'm so weird. I hear Octopath Traveler and I know I'd probably like it. But then I think, oh, it's too many hours. But then I look at... you guys must have this same experience. But then I look at how I spend my free time, right? I just sunk a 45-hour campaign into Disco Elysium that I never planned for or anything. I just started playing it, liked it, and I found the time. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know why I let hours intimidate me away from doing things, because it all racks up anyway. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's stupid for me to think, oh, don't do Octopath, it's going to be too long. At the end of the day, once you're in there and you're liking it, the time's going to fly by. The thing I need to be really... I don't know, though. I don't know. Some games. Grand strategies, I think I just got to keep away from. And I've been watching a friend in Discord play League of Legends again the past few days. And that is dangerous for me as well. There you go. I just saw he caught one. His animation bugged, but there was a fish wriggling at his hip. League is bad. If I watch clips of League, it really makes me want to play League. Very, very, very dangerously addictive. It's a modern take on old school JRPGs. See, I don't know how much of a fan I am of just true JRPGs anymore. I don't know. Yeah, there's got to be very good characters, really. There's a lot of shit going to one of the... I guess he's not there anymore, Tom Abernathy, with the recent conversations we've been having about Guild Wars. Because, you know, he went on this podcast and he said that he doesn't read the wiki, he doesn't care about the lore, all he cares about is writing good stories. And he's kind of getting shit for that, and I think some of that's justified. But on the other side of it, you know, he does have a very good point that you do need good character writing. My best example of that is Lost. You know, I talk about it quite often. Lost is a great mystery drama show, and it's got a really good setting and stuff, and it has an interesting backstory. Until you realise that they were just talking shit the whole time and had no idea what they were doing. It had a really fantastic setting. Seemed to, okay? So let's ignore the fact that there's no satisfying answers. Let's just pretend that it's a great setting. But none of that matters anyway. Even though it has a great setting and all that, it doesn't matter. What was really good about that show, when you watch that show in its prime... There you go. That guy just caught one and the other guy just cast a new one. It was the characters. Sawyer, Jack, Charlie, they were all so good. Locke, Jin, Sun. I mean, I could just list out every character, basically. And that's really where that comes from, you know. You do need these good, strong characters. So I don't think he was totally wrong in what he was saying at all. And it's the same for any old JRPG, I think, as well. There has to be that. The question is, in what ways do you interact with those characters? How often do you get to pick at them? And how great are they? I think there's a... They're never going to hear this, which sucks. But, you know, I had that answer in my video yesterday about, does the writing suck because they mentioned Yao as a gender? Or does it suck because, actually, Yao only has 30 fucking lines in the expansion? Well, pretty obviously, it's because Yao has no time, right? So I kind of made an argument yesterday... Oh, we got a clawfish, so that's one of the other achievements we just did. I made an argument yesterday that it's just a thing of quantity. But to be fair, to the people I'm disagreeing with there, who, you know, want to go on about the woke agenda, blah, 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 it's not entirely about quantity. It's not entirely about quantity. It is about the decisions they make. This thing of, like, they didn't really want any conflict in Cantha. Well, maybe that makes sense after we've just spent a lot of miserable time in POF. Maybe it makes sense if we already have the Elder Dragons and stuff to focus on, fine. But if the motivation for not much conflict in Cantha is because they just want everyone to love and be happy, no, I don't agree that that's good decision-making. There definitely are poor decisions being made. There are a lot of poor decisions being made around the Char Civil War. There are a lot of poor decisions being made around the characters themselves. And no amount of quantity will fix some of the issues I have with the story. But, you know, when we start dealing with that, I don't know, the whole conversation gets a lot more subjective at that point, you know? And who am I to say that feel-good slop is bad, you know? Some people like it. Do you know what I mean? Who am I to say that, you know, the phrase a lot of people use is soap opera, right? Who am I to say that the soap opera stuff is factually bad? It's not. I can't say that. And the weird thing is I do like the soap opera stuff when it's characters I'm really into. Like, I really like Logan and Ritlock, and you know, I like their little interactions and stuff. So, I don't know. It gets more difficult to talk about that. But I do think, to be fair, there are some weak decisions being made. I don't know whether they're all caused by the evil woke agenda, as a lot of nutters will say, but, you know. Oh, someone else is talking about disco in chat. Disco is good for the gets in your face about choices thing too. You got it 10 minutes ago, so that's probably been said already. Feel good is fine when it's not the only feeling. What do you mean it gets in your face about your choices? I mean, that game's just on a whole other level. That game has a thing, guys, where your skills are like aspects of your personality, right? And if you over-level them, they talk to you in conversations, and they influence the way you think and what you do, right? So, if you over-level them, they get louder and more boisterous, and they start taking control off your character. So, like, if you over-level authority, there's like a conversation. I never had this, but there's a screenshot of it. I need to be on Shrimps. where like in one of the conversations, like they'll wrestle control from the dialogue box, and they'll say "fuck you," say one of these fascist things, and you're like forced to do it, you know, even though it's like some horrible, disgusting thing you're about to say. Like that game is on another level. It understands storytelling in video games. It understands the story it wants to tell. It lets you go in any direction you want. Guild Wars will never be at the level of a game like that, never, because it's got too many ambitions. You know, Guild Wars has combat, and Guild Wars has buildcraft and fishing and all that kind of shit. You know, it's not a laser focused product. And you know, like on my playthrough of that game, I was apologizing constantly, and in the end the game was like, will you stop just apologizing, you know, have a bit of fun, basically, is what they said. Do a stream on it? I don't know whether I want to do a stream on it. It's one of those things where it would have been good as a first time experience. If you guys want to experience that game but not play it yourself, look for blind playthroughs of it. Look for blind playthroughs. Find someone who's, you know, not going to rush. Find someone who's got a little bit of sensibility about them. But look for a blind playthrough. And if they can be a bit playful too, then yeah. Because, I mean, once you know the mystery and stuff, I think it loses something. Yeah, and like Rocker says, some games you just got to play for yourself and enjoy. The crime here is me talking about it constantly. I shouldn't do that, right? Oh, someone got the black lionfish. Nice, well done. That's what we're looking for. The final fish. Well, also the speckled perch. If you pick the moralist or the fascist quest, it lays out reasons why that ideal... I mean, it does it all the time. I remember one of the communist lines. It was like, oh, do you want to be a communist? Like, yeah, just ignore all the slaughter, or you've got to crack a few million eggs to make an omelette. You know, they're I thought they were pretty even-handed. I think at some awards show for the game, they thanked Karl Marx on stage. So people think it's like a communist game. And with the way some of the story goes at the end. But I don't think it's quite that. And I never saw the awards show. For all I know, it's ironic, and it's just people on the internet don't get irony. The general public, you go on in. WP, will 12 ever be resurrected, or is it dead? It will, just not anytime soon. My current plan is finish Tomb Raider, finish 6, kick up Final Fantasy 14, and I'm going to do something in tandem with 14. I'm not revealing what that is yet, because I've got like 5 ideas, and 12 is not one of those. But once all that's done, I promise, it will be finished. I will not leave it, I promise. It's just, you know, you might have earned a college degree between the last episode and the new one. Just might be a little bit of time. You started and got a funny non-standard game over, but it was really early on. Let me guess, you reached up for the fan, got a heart attack and died. I didn't even understand the health mechanic in that game until I randomly kicked like a chimney or something, because I was frustrated, and then I had a heart attack and died. Another Sunscale Striker. Well, actually, we've had 5 of these. Jesus. Anyone know why I'm unable to consume a new food item? I'm also not able to interact with my items right now. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, you had a mental breakdown. Oh, I don't know. I played a character with very high morale, so I never actually got any of the game overs where you, like, quit. I never saw any of that stuff. There's loads of stuff I didn't see. There's a second party member in that game. I won't spoil it, but there's a whole other party member you can get if you play in a certain way. Just fucking mind-blowing, all the hidden shit in there. You yelled at Joyce to give me 100 rare, and she did. I love Joyce. She's a really interesting character. A snake, but she's so, like, nice. And she's so easy to talk to, but she's fucking horrible. But also, she's like one of the only people that understands the Pale and actually talks about it. You know, that's like their version of global warming. Oh my god, there's a lot of people talking about the game now. Mr. Evereye helping you find your gun, indeed. I actually never resolved that. When I beat the game, I never even had a gun. I don't know how that resolves. Because I kind of did some stuff-ish for the Union, and then I was like, no. When I realised just how empty the whole every worker, a member of the board. When I first heard that, I was like, what the fuck is this? And I thought it was just the game being stupid, right? I thought it was just some, I keep using this phrase, some wanky, you know, aloof, fluffy idea of what a union might ask for. I thought it was the game being stupid because it was early on. But then the game started analysing it and saying, well, what the fuck does that mean? And I was like, yeah, fuck these guys. They're just, fuck the union. And I was totally with the strike breakers, despite the fact that they kind of perpetuate the situation with Wild Pines. I don't know, it's a very good game. It really does make you think about things. And it asks you to commit to positions as well, which is so nice. But yeah, I don't even know. Is Edgar Clare in the game? I know there's a twin brother. I never met an Edgar Clare. I only met Everard. So much of that world building is like so authentically done because you can never quite tell if it's actually leading to something or it's just a part of the setting. But no, I never went in the cargo container. I never figured that out. For a long time, I thought that that's where Ruby was hiding. But I never got in there. And then the tribunal happened, and I was locked out of that area, so I could never go back. My instinct was I was just going to go back and pass the check later at the end of the game. But the devs knew. They clearly knew that that's what people's idea was going to be, and then they locked me out. There's a lot of reasons to do another playthrough. A lot of reasons. Popped in at pretentious wankery, perfect timing. Oh, you have a pineapple next to your name. Yeah, what do you guys think, by the way, about how on YouTube I have a potato next to my name? I put that on there a while ago. I haven't had a single comment about it. I like it, but like when you guys get notifications that there's a WP video, it should have a little potato there as well, shouldn't it? I'm lucky that I picked such a stupid name for this channel as a teenager, and that's one of the Windows emotes. So I can do it. In theory, if you guys pay to become a YouTube partner, you also can get potatoes, but you can just print them anyway with Windows emotes, so it kind of like what would be the point? But yeah. Alright, good. People like it. I thought silence, I didn't really know how to interpret the silence, to be honest. Is it me or is the Pale a lot like the new Haze in Guild Wars 2? You got that feeling when Almora was coming through? Yes, it is. With the whole static and voices of the past or the dead and stuff. Yes, it is. I actually said that on my video. If you look like a few days ago when I did my blind playthrough, I literally said, what the fuck? This is very similar. Yeah, there you go. Turtle. In fact, I don't know how I ever thought of not adding the turtle there. Good point. Yes. It's good, isn't it? You guys should consider to yourselves right now, if your username has some kind of, like, object or animal or something in it, you can use a Windows emote. It looks good as well. I have it on my Steam profile and everything. And it, like, shows up in games. You know some multiplayer games? Like, if I'm playing Vermintide, it'll have my Steam profile name as my name matchmaking in the game and stuff. Do you add a rock? Yeah, I don't know. Easy? I don't know. What's the why is the S capitalized for you? In easy. And then the R. I've never really thought about that. WP, why do none of the VAs speak with a Chinese accent in Canada? Well, it's Korean, first of all. The story is that... Oh, we just got it, guys. See, it doesn't take long to get a legendary fish. It really doesn't. It's a shame we never got the skate. The story is, in Guild Wars 1, they were kind of all over the place, which is weird, because it was still an NCSoft published product. There was Korean stuff, there was Japanese stuff, there was Chinese stuff. It was just like a generic amalgam of the Western interpretation of Asia. It was just everything, right? I guess if offensive or whatever. So then it was like, oh, we can't go back to Cantha for years. The publisher stepped in or something. Who knows, really? But because it was a mixing of too many visuals. And in Guild Wars 2, so remember, NCSoft is a Korean company. In Guild Wars 2, they just went 100% on the Korean side of it. It's Korea, Korea, Korea. Everything's Korea. So the music, that's the point. And that's the funny thing. I referenced in my Q&A yesterday, I referenced OK Buddy Cormier's shitpost video about how the woke ideology is ruining Guild Wars 2 storytelling. I recommend you all go, if you have a stomach for that kind of content, I recommend you all go and watch that video. Because no matter what you think about OK Buddy Cormier's argument, this guy clearly follows Guild Wars 2 very carefully. He clearly follows lots of dev Twitters. He's clearly on the forums all the time. I mean, he follows clearly like content creators and stuff. He was around in my community there or in the comments. Like, this person clearly does know things about what's going on with Guild Wars and watches very, very, very closely, no matter what you think of their arguments on the nature of their shitpost video. And you might be interested, you know, there's a lot of stuff in that video as well about forum censorship. And about how everyone actually hates Guild Wars 2's writing of End of Dragons, but the devs are removing all the posts from the forums and blah, 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 blah. Anyway, that video and the comments below it are fascinating. There are so many, like, wild takes and different things to think about that I could have talked lots and lots and lots more about in my Q&A. What led me to talking about this? Fuck. Someone... I went on to... Oh, yeah, okay. And one of the conversations that was going on there is people kept talking about, like, China and stuff. And I was like, well, what? It's Korean now. Everything's supposed to be Korean. Like, there were a bunch of comments in there that I thought, what are they talking about? Like, because people didn't quite get that it's just meant to be Korea. But I don't know. There are still some lingering Japanese things, like Emperor Yusoku, I think. That's a Japanese word or something. Because there's a lot of material in that shitpost video about... I don't know, just about the setting, really, and about, and about the fact it's Korean, or, I don't know. Whether they've trampled on the old lore, I think, is really the thing. I really was astounded to see how much of a Guild Wars 1 slant there was to a lot of those arguments, and a lot of the people in the discussion there. It was very, very Guild Wars 1 heavy. Did End of Dragons release in the Chinese version of the game? I assume it did. Yeah, that's a good question, because I'm totally ignorant. I don't really get what the beef is. I don't know what the issue is. I can totally understand NCSoft as a Korean company being like, well, portray Korea. I think it was specifically the mixing that they didn't want. It was the mixing of the two things. Well, there you go, guys. That's the collection done. We still didn't get a blowfish. It says we can get an any coast at night, the pufferfish. And then here... Oh, where's the other legendary? We just fished it up. I didn't double click the fucking thing, did I? Oh no, there it is. So that's Kryta Fisher. I'm really sorry you don't get to see that go to +5 and then see kind of a big reel ding up. I'm really sorry about that. But yeah, with kind of a big reel, we would be done with Kryta. And for what it's worth, lots of money out of that as well. Like, if I double click these as well here, let's just eat all of the fish we've got. So that's one day-night cycle you just watched me fishing there. Very inefficiently. Obviously, it's been great to do it with you guys on the boat and stuff. But we open all of these. Oh, I'm an idiot. I was supposed to feed it to the turtle, wasn't I? Whoops. Whoopsie. Oh, no. I'm going to have to do it again. Oh, no. More content. It's alright. It's alright. I'm going to have to go back there anyway. So I'll get the holy mackerel sometime down the line. I'm in no particular rush. I mean, it depends on when this mini X-Pack gets announced, but I'm in no particular rush. So anyway, with all of that little fish meat,
the wild welcome you.
what you can do is start trading it up, you see. So we can buy 37 of these. And we can buy 82 of these. And we can buy 47 of these. And And we can buy 14 of these. And then with these, we can get 5 of these per day, I think it is. And I'm just shy of the next one. But there, with all of that, we got 11 ancient ambergris. There should be another 6 on top. If I'd got that one at night, there'd be another 6. And that's repeatable, by the way. So, about 30 gold you just watched me on there. Just chatting away. Don't overlook fishing. It's even more efficient if you're doing it in the Crystal Desert. Don't overlook it. It's perfect to do while you've got a video like this on. Or listen to some music. Find some new music. TV show. It's good idle gameplay, and it's good gold. It's not reliant on event timers. It's not particularly reliant on other people. It doesn't need gear. It doesn't need good game knowledge. It is a great way to just earn lots of money. I'll tell you, the best way to earn money in Guild Wars 2 at the moment is do not make an Aurene legendary. Buy the antique summoning stones every week and sell them. Sell memories of Aurene. Anything to do with Gen 3 crafting, sell that shit. You'll get fat money and do some fishing. And then, yeah, if you can, fractals, Dragonstorm each day. It's a lot of money, really. And I'm going to sell instantly, which will make people angry. Let me check prices here. Yeah, we're alright. I kind of want to create a collection of these, by the way. The gilded sunstone jewels and the other jewels and all that kind of stuff. I don't know. I miss it from launch. I miss launch crafting and all the leveling process stuff. So there you have it, guys. Any last questions? Anything people want to talk about before I jump off here? By the way, yeah, other outfits. This is my black mage. So there was white mage, black mage. This is my Asuran. I'm really not happy with this, though. I need something better for the Asuran look. If anyone can help me with a good Asura look, I'm begging you. I really need help with it. This is why I can't have too many Asura on my account, and that's just legendary. I don't know what I'm doing. Hey, WP, you want to join Fractal CMs? I actually already did them last night. Sorry. That was largely entertaining. Right, see, I have 2 female Asura that I need to gear up and have all their templates and stuff looking distinct and different. Maybe I can just have the crafter. So she spends most of her time in Old Lion's Arch if she's not in, like, content. This is her Jade set. Doesn't look that good because I don't have the hat on. There you go, with the hat. Brilliant. That's the same. There you go. This is the scrapper. This is the lab coat alchemy kind of thing that was set up from a community member ages ago. That's the scrapper, and then the hollow doesn't look so good with the rifle, but with the plasma weapons looks awesome. The hollow's probably my best look. So yeah, I can sort of figure out 2 Ellies. The rest of them not though. That's why Gux, this guy you saw me play End of Dragons on. I love this outfit, but I don't think I'm going to use him. It's much better for me to use my other Necro, because she can have a lot of cool looks. I'm going to show you guys a Scourge look here, and I'm telling you, this is the best looking Scourge you're ever going to see. Are you guys ready? Okay, this is not it. This is a... I don't know what I'm doing with Harbinger. I hate the Harbinger gloves. Like, how are you supposed to make them look good? They're just like crystal strap. I don't know what the fuck. Anyway, I don't know what I'm doing with her. That's a work in progress. So we got the white and gold Reaper. There's no question. This is amazing looking. I will not hear otherwise. And then look at this Scourge. Now that's a hell of a Scourge, right? What this is the back piece. This is the shadow cape again. But I realised you can dye it to look like falling sand. And you combine it with the Flame Legion legs, so it looks all frayed. She's got the Scourge shoulders, the Sand Jackal gloves. The dyes could probably use some work. The Corsair head, so it looks like she's wrapped up. She looks a bit like a mummy. I don't know. This is another variety of Scourge, but I don't know what I'm doing with this. I think one of them's a heal Scourge, the other one's a DPS Scourge. And then I've got to figure out Harbinger. I don't know. Harbinger's hard. I might just make that look like a quintessential Sylvari appearance, because you know, I've got my ranger. Oh, yeah. And before I leave, I've got to show you my wheelbender as well. Oh, we had a donation from somebody. Thank you very much. 10 SGD. Here's a small amount of the entertainment. Maybe buy a Coke after YouTube takes his cut. Thank you, man. I really appreciate that. I have to sort out my finances. It's really dire at the moment. I have to do... I don't know. I don't want to talk about Patreon and encourage people back onto Patreon until at least FF6 and Tomb Raider are finished. I don't know. I can't. I would just feel too bad about it. But yeah, I got to figure shit out. Thank you very much for that. That really, really means a lot. Yeah. So Willbender, I think this is so cool as a class. Like the red tinge in the fires and stuff on the animation here, right? It's just so awesome. And the swords. So you guys hadn't seen I had these swords yet. They are really cool. So they're the gold scheme. It's the very Shiro-esque kind of assassin scheme. But as you run around, look at these like red trails on the floor. You see these? That's like the line of blood, the lifeline or whatever that you see in so many of their animations as well. This is their elite spec weapon. So the idea of just dual wielding them looks so good. But then what do I do with the rest of the gear? There's the new swords and these kind of fit. One thing that looks really good is you can keep the red and gold like that, but I don't know whether I really like it that much. If you instead do it this way, it's the blue from Guardian, but I love the way that the blue plays with the red in the colours on that. And the way they're like weave in and out of each other. That blue and red, that looks a lot like what the actual animations are like, you know? So maybe I can find a way to do it. It's a very cool class. I just don't really like the gameplay. And I don't have a good visual for it yet. But yeah, I'm thinking of going the red and the blue. And I don't know whether legendary armor is the way I want to go with this, because I already have that on my warrior. The thing is, the legendary armor looks really good coming down the tail of a char, so... I'm just not sure. Is Power Wheelbender any good? I mean, ostensibly, but on the other hand, I feel like I'd rather just play Dragon Hunter, you know? Dragon Hunter is just so cool as a power playstyle. Dragon Hunter just feels fucking awesome. And you get to use longbow. Do you guys have any idea how many cool longbows there are in this fucking game now? There's so many amazing longbows. And they don't have necessarily anything to do with legendaries. And traps are cool. So I don't know. I would just say do DH if you really want a Power Guardian playstyle. And at the end of the day, they're all far too reliant on Greatsword. It's like playing any Condi Thief variant. Condi Spectre, Condi Deadeye, Condi Daredevil. They all have you spamming the same fucking core skills. It's all the same preparations and venoms. It's, you know, there's certain issues with the balance in that way that I don't like. And they all feel very similar. Okay, last question. Anyone got a last question? Scrolling up, Rocker says, with all the fishing you've done, how you feel about it as an expansion selling feature looking back? Well, I'm really only at the start of the progression right now. Basically, guys, you might see another fishing stream at some point where I want to dot one in and we'll do another map. Okay? But there's like 15 maps, or is it 25? There would be 25 episodes in this series. So you're just looking at the start of it. I think for what it is, it's okay, yeah. It's difficult to answer that because I don't really know what I would expect for a big expansion selling feature now if it's not some of the things I illustrated in the recent videos. And End of Dragons didn't do anything like that. Wait, no, WP, the blue ones are more valuable. Oh, really? The blue fish? I shouldn't have traded my blue fish. What's this? Eastern representation of media has typically been bold to Oriental theming, which clumps distinct cultures together through ignorant lens. Yeah, I mean, it could be a good thing, really, that they just say, no, just do Korea and show a Korean thing. There's space for a Japanese thing later, you know, if people will accept it. There's a space for a Chinese thing later. There's space for whatever. I should try Spectre in World vs. World. Spectre duo roaming in World vs. World is probably really fucking fun. I think that's probably the most fun you can have in Spectre. Maybe even on Thief. There's just so many cool things you could do with that, right? Oh, I got a €22 donation. Thank you very much. That's really lovely of you. Have a great day. I hope you have a great day as well. I hope you guys all have a nice one. I know a lot of people are just waking up having their coffee here with this. That's really lovely. Thank you. You like Willbender for random open world content, but for bosses and raids, you got to go Dragon Hunter. It just feels better. I think Willbender, there is space for Willbender. It has to be alacrity DPS.
Oh, thank you, friend. Thank you. Another minute stuck in that loop and oh.
Alacrity
it's
DPS,
hard.
as much of the
See if I can
utilities as
run a
possible,
system
please. And as
See
much
what
emphasis
causes
on the
it to
F
malfunction
and the
on us?
sword offhand as possible.
There was some foreign entity in the system. I can't seem to pull up a status report. Everything's completely fried. Whatever it was, I hope that was the last of it.
I don't know how long they're going to keep speaking, so I'm going to mute. Yeah, I don't know. I would love it if this was like a dual skill. They got rid of Zealot's defense. I could probably accept that at that point. Phoenix Protocol needs AoE alac. Yeah, I don't know. Phoenix Protocol is so cool. That's the bottom one, right? No, that's Deathless Courage. Oh, this is AoE alac. This is AoE. It pulses AoE. It's okay. It's just not tuned the best. If Willbender was a really rock-solid alacrity DPS, I think I would love it. And in fact, I'm going to try it, because I haven't really played it, so it might be really fun. But right now, if I want to play alacrity DPS, I think Untamed looks fucking awesome. Have you guys ever actually sat down and watched like a rotation video for like alacrity Untamed or whatever? Have you seen how fast they you could cycle through an Untamed rotation? Untamed is fucking bonkers. It looks really cool. But I don't know. Alacrity on Ranger feels tedious. It's like quickness on Warrior. You know, Banner Quickness and Spirit Alacrity, they just feel fucking ugh. I really think that you should be giving those out based on F skills or weapon skills. I want utilities for utility, not the way that they run. I really don't like that stuff. But yeah, Untamed, or as I actually play, I do Mirage. I do double staff Mirage for alacrity DPS. Easy as fuck. So comfortable. Oh, the most chill thing in the world. Competitive damage. Oh, it's just, what more could you ask for? That is the spec for me. And then, you know, if I want to do healing alacrity, there's Druid or Olmec. But that's kind of a different thing. Another donation. Guys, I'm literally about to tune out. I mean, if people like keep having questions, that's fine. If you try hard enough, you'll get. I'll tell you what. I'll stay. You know, I'm not going to say that. I was going to say because night's coming soon. Granny Weatherwax, thank you. Seriously, mate, it's just nice to have you back around regularly. Cheers. Thanks very much. Well, I would argue I've been around regularly for a long time now, actually, since December and January. But the thing is, if it's not Guild Wars content, I think it doesn't count for a lot of people. And I understand that, and that's fine. I'm not bitter about that. That's just the reality. Don't you need virtues to be able to have Willbender give alacrity to other players? To be honest, I don't know how it works. I don't know how it works. I assume you press F2, and doesn't it spam it? Don't you press it, and then all subsequent hits spam alacrity out? Surely that's the thing. Yeah, you gain flowing resolve, right? Consecutive attacks grant regenerative effect. If I turn this on... Yeah, it's very simple. Basically, after I use F2, for the next few seconds I have this, flowing resolve. And now as I attack, it spams alacrity out AoE around me. That's all it is. And this has two charges of ammo. So it's just press F2 and then go back to your normal thing. I assume anyway. I might be wrong. Because again, I haven't played this. Yeah, see, I got 1 alacrity. I have no boon duration here. 2 alacrity. See, this goes. As long as I keep doing the packets. I don't know what the ICD's like on it. I don't know how it feels. That's the thing. That's why I kind of want to play it. Of course, the compromise is you lose lethal tempo damage, and you lose the coolest thing about Willbender, which is Deathless Courage. Deathless Courage is the most unique, interesting thing, and I wish it wasn't opposed to the utility. If the alacrity was down here, or even on a minor, I think they've got a hell of a class right there. Or maybe if Deathless Courage was on a minor or something. Because I do like the idea, have a DPS variant or a utility variant. I like that. DPS Willbender or alacrity Willbender. That's a good choice at the Grandmaster level. But something as cool as this, I think could be more in the class's identity. And not something you have to choose for and lose everything else. There's a similar thing going on with Berserker at the moment. I mean, you guys saw this recent patch of Berserker. It is so cool. The bottom line for Berserker looks like the most fun fucking thing in the world. Have you guys seen this? Right, check this out. So this is my Spellbreaker look, the Quicksilver. My Berserker. So usually what I try to do is I try to have the spec wearing armor from that area of the world. So, oh, this isn't even the right helmet here. So, like, you know, the Berserker should be wearing Heart of Thorn stuff. He's actually wearing POF stuff, but it's just too good, isn't it? I mean, come on. You can't be mad at me for this. Fucking Bounty Hunter Berserker is just perfect. Anyway, and, you know, we get the 2 axes. But look at the bottom trait line. The Grandmaster Eternal Champion just had a patch, right? It's gained stab and endurance when entering Berserk. Who gives a fuck? But traits that trigger when entering Berserk also trigger when leaving Berserk now. So you actually have a lot more control because you can choose to leave for yourself. Obviously, it's going to be a damage hit, so it's still a little bit fiddly. If we think about like a raid or strike rotation scenario, then obviously this is going to feel a bit ugly. But look at the traits you get. So you would get Blood Reckoning on it, when in and out now, so just massive fucking heals, and Savage Instinct, which is a stun break and invuln. So talking about the Deathless Courage thing on Willbender, similar thing here on Berserker now actually. When you go in, 100% reduced incoming damage, and when you go out. I really like this. When I imagine, like, you know, HTCM, like whenever a green comes up, or like a no green strat and stuff, fucking just proc Savage Instinct at the right time. But the thing is, to go the bottom line means you can't run 25% damage modifier, or if you're Condi, all the Condi stuff and, you know, the King of Fire's explosions. So it's just non-negotiable. You can't do it. So the only time this line exists, as far as PvE is concerned, I'm only talking about PvE. I'm not talking about PvP at any level, or World vs. World. But for this game type, the only way that this exists is for open world and shit. But no one needs this much quality of life for open world and shit. It's too much quality of life. So there are a few ways to answer that. There's one, you know, you can turn the screws on for the open world things, but I don't know. There's just not enough really satisfyingly gritty solo content in the game to justify a line like this. So it feels bad, but it's such a cool concept, isn't it? I love the new patch they did for that. I guess the answer, as always, is go to the other goddamn game types, which most players, you know, will refuse to do. Anyway, I'm not very well practiced at Berserker, and apparently this trait's bugged. The 25% damage on it is bugged, apparently. Like, this actually benches really low. The Hammer Spellbreaker build is amazing. I can bench like 37k without even thinking on the Hammer Spellbreaker. I can't get anywhere near that on Berserker. Not anywhere near it. This build's just nuts. Like, everything is a modifier. 5%. This one isn't, but it's Ferocity. 21%, 10%, 20%, 10%, 15%, I believe, if I remember rightly. Yeah, 15%. Ferocity bonus. Oh, no, it's just straight up. Yeah, well. Yeah, it's a 10% modifier. And then a crit modifier. They're all percent modifiers. That's how optimized that shit is. This is why you can, like, fucking smack people for so hard on this. Warrior is just insane the way it's structured there. Like, that's an unthinkable scenario years ago. Or for some other classes, certainly. The Pokemon review? Dude, I still have that all written out. I'm still watching Pokemon, by the way. I'm watching the mini-series with Ash, Brock, and Misty. His final episodes are coming up. It's like 3 episodes left and it's over. It's all over. And I've seen the announcement for the new thing, the new trailer with the captain, with the Pikachu and the captain's hat and stuff. Is Natalie intended to look like the art they used for the Warrior spec, or is it just a coincidence? It's a coincidence. I think this is a default Norn, isn't it? Natalie's gone through various appearances. She used to have, like, long, blonde, flowing hair, you know? But I guess became bald at some point. Also, Natalie used to be huge. I think this is a really small... I've actually been thinking of using a total makeover kit, because I kind of want a female Norn and a male Norn. And I've got... this is a Norn. Who's my other Norn? Oh, yeah, and I've got my Rev. My Rev, who I have obscene playtime on. And again, if you look, I think the Rev, is it the default look? The Rev, again, is another male, black, bald Norn. I mean, I don't need two characters that look the same. It's just I'm a little bit worried the armors won't look so good. I don't know which one I should change, though. And I suppose I should change Natalie, given their name. I really need another template here, though. But this character's doing well. I just got to figure out something more fun with the Viper. This has become another account tour. I really didn't mean it to. You love the double triggers. Oh, and it feels amazing. Where does it feel amazing, though? Where are you guys playing that new Berserker thing that feels good? Oh, sorry. Frost Zombie literally said, WP, are you going to make a video about the Pokemon review you talked about before? Or is it something you did for the fun of it? It was something I did for the fun of it. And then for a long time, I really imagined I would post it. Right now, the odds are definitely lower. I got a lot of stuff going on in real life at the moment. I may as well say I'm prepping for a move at the moment. So in the next couple of months, once things settle down, I might get back into... Basically, I've watched X and Y, and I'm like halfway through Sun and Moon now. I've gone really far, but I didn't review any of it as I watched through. The last stuff I reviewed was Black and White, and there's like a couple of points I'd never finished. So, you know, I've kind of got to rewatch all of that, but with a reviewer hat on. But when and as I get it done, if that happens, I will post it for sure. Because there's some really funny rants. I'm going to toot my own horn here. I've been pretty funny in that review. I've been very polemic and very ranty and very exaggerated and very funny at certain times. But it's also a serious review. But yeah. Oh, they supposedly fixed the top GM recently. Oh, really? So the benches should be higher now then, surely? Mandala, how long ago was it fixed? What's a good raid build that can survive in open world content? I think any quickness build is really good for solo. What you have to understand is, well, if we don't talk about Jade bots and stuff, all the raw DPS raid and strike builds are bad in the open world because they don't bring their own boons. So, but if you play a DPS boon build, then it's awesome. So this Herald build, for example, this is amazing. I provide like 15 of my own might, and I can go more if I change my sigils. I provide my own fury, I provide my own quickness. I don't provide my own alacrity, but who gives a fuck, really? And I have big damage. I have plenty to survive. This is a very, 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 very good open world build. And it's true, like, my quickness scrapper build is similar. My quickness scrapper build fucking wrecks on its own. You know, those are the builds that you genuinely can take out on your own into the open world, and you wouldn't have to change a thing. If you're gonna, like, I'll play the exact same build I play in HTCM out in the open world. Or any raid content. Any quickness build like that. Firebrand's similar. If you're gonna play a quickness brand, I mean, it's Condi there, which is kind of annoying in solo content, but it's fine. Yeah, for other builds, you can make tweaks. Reaper is like one of the only things where they give themselves their quickness like really, 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 really high uptime. Well, no, that's a lie. I think a few things give themselves their quickness. Even Warrior gives itself... So, for example, with Warrior, this Hammer Spellbreaker build, if I'm going to play it solo, I just make some tweaks, right? Like, I'll change... like, the most... You actually saw me do that in yesterday's video. All I'll do is I'll change the Grandmaster here from Start with Strength. Oh, sorry, not here. I'll change Berserker's power to Aggressive Onslaught. So Aggressive Onslaught is anytime I disable someone, I give myself quickness. So there you go. I have all my own quickness uptime now. Simple as that. I've obviously lost damage on the top end, but it doesn't matter. This quality of life is way better. It feels a lot better. And, you know, maybe I'll go as far as putting For Great Justice on for a bunch of might and fury. You know, you just make little tweaks. The best thing you can do is just use your brain and play the game and prioritize boons. If you're on your own, prioritize boons. November balance patch. It was fixed in November. So Berserker's just shit at the moment then, really. Comparatively. Jesus. Berserker coming below the Blade Sworn and the Spellbreaker. Sad times. Must be cool to watch it after watching the whole series now that Ash rotates to his old Pokemon. Yeah, it's a really good series. It's a good... Well, I think it could have been better. But it's alright. Okay, guys, seriously, that's it. I think I'm running out of steam here. Thank you very, 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 very much, everyone. It's been really nice. Hope you have a good day. I'm going to end it there because I don't want to burn myself out. This is just a quick little thing for the afternoon when we would normally stream. Have a lovely weekend. Take care now. Thanks for the fun chat. If you've got any further thoughts, drop them in the comments below. Or come to the Discord. And I'll see you tomorrow about the same time. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.